open in Meteor. For Killitan, it's now the second. As Meteor looks to take over the round. Buzz fighting one. Meteor on for three. Safe. The IGL, the captain. 13-5.
T1 goes to show you that in this sport, in this game, you cannot count anyone out.
EDG, their first loss globally since they won that trophy.
We were all expecting EDG to handle them with ease, and yet it wasn't.
我想 T1 的话，看到他们5个人的 ID， 他们5个人都是打了非常久的职业的选手，然后他们5个现在感觉就是配合比较默契，然后互相相信彼此。
저희가 어제 EDG한테 비록 졌지만 충분히 그것도 이길 수 있는 경기라고 생각을 하고 거기에 이제 챔피언스라는 타이틀에 쫄지 않고 임할 생각이고.
It's the name of the lights. Pops the old skills around.
然后至于压力什么的，我们之前已经走过很长一段路了，所以我觉得这对我们造不成什么影响。然后我们的目标是，不管是输是赢，只是尽力去打好后面的每一场比赛，然后一步一条命的吧。
그리고 이제 저희 팀원들이 오늘 바이탈리티에서 경기 보여줬던 게 제 입장에서는 진짜 말도 안 되는, 그래서 너무 자랑스럽고 만약 우승한다면 일단은 병철이는 울 것 같고요. 저는 냉정함을 일단 유지하고 저는 조금 더 높은 곳을 바라보도록 하겠습니다.
Vitality looks to upset them here. Sylvan fighting 2, fighting 3, and Buzz. My God, what a nail biter!
然后至于我的队友们，我觉得今天就最近可能残局输的比较多吧，然后我觉得就希望大家能够调整好心态，然后能够找回以前的自己吧。
저랑 진짜 엄청 오래전부터 해왔던 걸로 알고 있어서 발로란트 초창기 때부터 아무래도 경험이 제일 많이 있는 선수 중 하나일 거라 생각하고 중국에서도 전혀 쉽다라고 생각 안 하고 그리고 이제 내일 저희가 만나게 된다면은 꼭 부셔버리도록 하겠습니다.
我觉得进入败者组对于我们来说是司空见惯的了。我们无数次从地狱杀回来，这一次也还是会一如往常。
Come the world champions, EDG. Of course, they have a lot of pressure on their shoulders. The last stand for the Chinese region, but most importantly, an opportunity to punch their ticket to back-to-back grand finals.
And survive, most importantly as well. When the pressure gets on this team, they always turn up. They don't shy away from any sort of challenge.
T1, no one expected them to be here, the second seed from Pacific. But they've been on a revenge tour, taking down EMEA's super team, and now another revenge match ahead of them. A chance to deny EDG's back-to-back trophy opportunity.
It's the salty run back we've all been waiting for. T1 gets an opportunity to get revenge on EDG, and let's see how the chips fall as these players, you know that they're feeling the pressure, the anticipation, and most importantly, the electricity in the UOB Live.
Both of these teams have a very similar map pool, and both of them perma-ban Abyss. In the last series, EDG floated the map, T1 banned it, and I think it put EDG at an advantage here. I'd like to see both teams float Abyss to the end, but T1 go back to banning it.
Yeah, not the case, but you are completely correct in that they have very similar map pools themselves, and EDG selecting Bind as their first opening map. And I believe they ended up losing this to T1 when they played in that initial series. So looking to see if they can right the wrongs of the past here and start off strong early in the best of 5.
Let's not forget, that format is going to be absolutely brutal. It's a marathon, not a sprint, Mimi.
And this is experience territory for EDG.
You're so right.
Partnership era have not lost a best out of 5. For T1, they've barely played any. They were not a top team in Pacific for the longest time. They made it to some of their first BO5s, this stage of Pacific, and now this is their first BO5 on a stage this big.
Yeah, both of these teams, though, right, as we had noted many times here, no strangers to these high-octane, high-pressure BO5s. They've been in this in the past. The problem here this time, Brent, is that you got a T1 team that's kind of been a little bit of a David and Goliath setup here, right? And they feel that, but it feels like they are embracing it. But they want it because they feel like they have the right hook to bring down the giant.
But we saw the MasterCard fan poll, and we've seen our opinions overall here. This might be the turning point in the tournament where people expect T1 potentially to be the very, very slight favorites, or at least 50-50 at worst in this matchup. The pressure kind of shifts there a little bit. You can be the underdog throughout the entire tournament, and that gives you a bit of an edge, I think, a bit of extra confidence, because you know, okay, well, if we go out here, it's not the end of the world. The expectations weren't that grand in the first place. But here is where it is real. Like we've been mentioning, best of 5 territory. EDG were freshly got this one in their mind through their run in their own regionals. They made a lower bracket run recently. They know they're capable of doing it. For T1, they're going to be having many questions, I think, asked of them, and they are up. It's up to them genuinely to answer it themselves here.
But for Buzz and for Stax, 2 players not on DRX, not on that Vision Strikers core for their first global event, it would mean the world for them. It would make the risk pay off to not just make top 3, but to go beyond that, make their first ever global grand finals, being the second Korean team to be able to claim that accolade.
You can see the BO5 yet again. I wanted to bring it up just to emphasize, right, for folks at home, Haven, Fractured, if necessary, Split and Pearl. Where does this series go topsy-turvy potentially?
I think biggest strengths here for T1 are the double duelist maps, the Split, the Haven, where they beat Vitality yesterday. Not having their Lotus, though, makes it tough to find the third map they're favored on. And I think the questions have to go to the first map of this series. They beat EDG here yesterday, but clearly EDG have focused on changing that up, picking it first in the series.
EDG are a scary team when they're confident. If they're going into a match as well, thinking that they can right those wrongs as well. And we're seeing those switch-ups. We're this deep into the tournament. If we did, I think it would be quite surprising. But I just love how much these 2 teams opt into the fight. They're both running KO for a reason. You're going to be seeing pop flashes. You're going to be seeing aggro plays, re-clears. Aggressive is the approach for both of these teams. It's going to be a bloodbath.
I want to see Kung Kung at his best. He's been asked to play a lot of sacrificial roles, running it down on the Neon, teleporting in on the Yoru, but his Raze has always been one of his absolute finest agents, and I think he has to put up another MVP caliber performance here to take down T1.
This is going to be awesome. I think it's safe to say everyone in this venue is hyped for this one, and it's the last hope for both China and Pacific. So let's get this BO5 started. Send it over to your casters. Here's once again Pansy and Ender.
Thank you so much, GB and the desk. And I want to start this off by kind of prefacing this with the notion of power residing where men believe it resides. And EDG normally would be the one to look up to. However, they were made to look mortal. G2 bringing them down, but can T1 deliver the killing blow?
T1 are riding all the momentum coming off the back of yesterday's series. There's a little bit of magic in the air for Pacific's #2 seed. Their run so far this tournament has been nothing short of incredible. And starting it off on the map they took EDG down on the last time they faced off is exactly where they want to be.
It's tense here. You can feel it. EDG on the attacking side, of course, meaning T1 on the defense. We are in best of 5 territory, long games. The desk highlighting it too. This will be a bloody affair. Both happy to brawl out, and for now, though, it should be a relatively open B site.
Yeah, T1 have chosen to leave Izu all on his lonesome back towards elbow. That said, the stall here is still good. 2 players of T1 have rotated over, and EDG look like they're going to try and force themselves out. No one's looking at Izu, and it's an ace to kick off the day!
You can feel it, the atmosphere in here, the crowd believing it, and T1 showing it. What a start from Meteor. You look at the likes of Izu, you look at Buzz, hell, Sylvan's been a star, Stax, but Meteor What a moment!
Oh my god! Yes!
Amazing.
Meteor, the man to watch, and that is just killer. EDG come in, get instantly put down. Again, they chose to come to this map. They were feeling confident to be able to steal it back from T1 after losing last time around. But to start it off in that fashion is nothing short of incredible.
I like what EDG are doing here, though, kind of getting the lay of the land right, exploring through the map. This should kind of be quite indicative of what to expect going forward into this. They have got, I don't want to say an open site, because we do still see showers controlled there, but for EDG, you're looking at the small wins, right? Can they get a plant down? Can they cost anyone anything? Can anyone deal with Meteor? Apparently not! Farming up! Same from round one, looking like he fancies going again in round two.
Shocking scene so far, and yeah, EDG, they'd be lucky to get a plant down at this point. No showers control, they finally call Simon in, but Meteor is still here with that Guardian. He is wreaking havoc.
Now let him go. Let him do it back to back. This could be back to back aces stacks. He fancies a go, why not? Let him get on the board as well. Fill out the game. EDG yet to do really anything here.
Shut out completely in the opening 2 rounds, and Meteor is going to come into round 3 with the ultimate.
Huge.
Because of these kills, he gets the exact right amount of them, then donate some orbs over to stacks. I mean, what a way to kick it off too.
And then let's talk bigger picture here, right? We do have a bonus that is pretty beefy, so we'll keep our eyes towards it with that ult in play as well. But EDG have had some rough games individually, I want to highlight. They are off to a 0-2 start for every single player. No one is warmed in yet. This is going to feel cold for them. They need to start picking up. We've been looking like some Kung, starting to activate a bit more. Same with Chichu. These are superstars for a reason. We know they can thrive in pressure scenarios. They need to do some damage on this round.
Yeah, Kong was 5-13 in opening kills yesterday's series. There you go. Chichu's going to be the guy to step up.
Very nice.
But now EDG still have a lot of time to play with. That's a great pick to find, right? And that's going to keep 2 players, maybe even 3, shifting over towards the A side of the map. EDG still have the time to play with, dodging away from the Fade Eye down towards B long to gear up for a B split.
And with that Prowler going through the TP, it's so indicative that they don't really have a good read on where they are, and they want to get a better idea. For now, going to give away the game. Going to note the pressure coming in. Does have some of the Vice utility to depend upon to keep some security, but there will be a crunch, and it's going to be very uncomfortable to try and hold from Octagon.
2 players already quick on the rotate from T1. We'll see if Izu can stay alive here.
It's a lot on Izu's shoulders. A bit of a superstar in the making! And Simon, what is going on? I've never seen EDG look this lost in this round. But Izu, does he consider? I think he does. He's very aware that maybe Chichu's missing. They've only seen so many on the site. Smoggy has succeeded, but he spots out the player and Chichu's low.
Look at Meteor. Meteor snuck out into wood too. Like T1 have positions on this site.
This is super uncomfy for the post plant. Let's see if Izu can clear towards long. He still has his util to play with. He's still pinned on this one. Chichu has to back away. Meteor getting away with murder again. Now EDG starting to suffer, down to 3, but that spike is still ticking.
It's getting messy on the site. Kong turns it up for EDG, and he gets another. EDG was looking tough for a moment, but he goes for a swing, finds those kills, and now Izu is turning it around.
It's not over yet. The time is ticking. Nobody's going to be ice cold about this one. You can't lose it like this. The time.
He's got it.
He's absolutely got it. What is going on with EDG right now?
It was looking just about unplayable. And then Izu out of nowhere with the Red Bull clutch. The fact that he's able to stick here in Octagon.
How's he not cleared? How's he not pressured in this? Like, there was no comfortable post plant for EDG there at all.
It's crazy because EDG were getting time pressured, so they went for the plant and tube. They were playing in back sight, and somehow Meteor slipped over, was able to go shoulder to shoulder with Izu. So then once Meteor's dealt with, there's still Izu. There's just too many problems for EDG to clear.
I'm waiting to see if there's an early timeout from EDG. Yeah, there is. There is a round 4 timeout.
That is an ugly timeout.
Because it makes me worry that there are bigger issues at play here, right? Because by round 4, there's so little to be seen, really, right? You're coming in still very new. Yeah, your money's going to be in pieces. But T1 have absolutely got them on the ropes by round 4. I can't believe what we're seeing.
I mean, don't forget that round, right? It's T1 taking a bonus. They bought an Outlaw. That's all they purchased into it. They got picked in showers, too, so it's a 5v4 that they end up getting lost to time and Izu coming up in the clutch. And really, what I'm imagining because it can't be a game plan thing for EDG. No. It's too early for that in a timeout like this. Instead, it's talking about how are we playing the post plant. Probably comms are falling apart in a moment like that. If Izu's not getting cleared, if those site players aren't turning around and adjusting fast enough, because it seemed like Kong was the only guy really locked in
Switched
that round.
on, yeah. Everyone else looked a little asleep at the wheel and hesitant. Hesitant to try and clear the player towards Octagon to try and find a really secure post plant. Felt like they kind of got stuck in between the ideas, but they got to sharpen up here. I know it's a long haul now, but if you give T1 this opportunity, a team who are, again, you look at the names on this roster for T1, they are obsessed with the game. They love the idea of it, right? Stax and Icon, you've had Meteor, Buzz, these names are household names. They've wanted this for God knows how long.
Going back all the way to the Vision Strikers day. Early fight into showers, but T1 will do well to back away. They can play around their Vise util they brought over to this A site. EDG are going to be stuck in this choke point for a long time coming.
Now we get to test the patience a little of T1 because you need to keep their composure here. Heard in the interviews, I liked what Stax was saying as well, that they felt they could have beaten EDG. There were a couple of things that went wrong. They didn't blame it on anything else. It wasn't like just got lucky. But he took some accountability for it, knowing that they can tighten up the screws a bit, polish it a little further. But first pick this time around for EDG. Can they stick the landing?
Yeah, back-to-back rounds they found it into A, and again, moving into a little bit of a B split. That'll be interesting, and Kong's one away from the showstopper. There's worlds here where EDG can get him online and keep it coming.
I like the stall towards Long, though. That is lovely. It divides, and it conquers! Silver the one to try and do the damage this round. And again, the two players on Long can't support. Divided by the Molly, held back, and deleted by Stax. Simon, there was a little bit of threat to this round initially. We saw a little bit of that, pick coming in, maybe something to be had. It feels like that's been shut down really swiftly. Simon, yeah, these angles too good. T1, 3 standing, flawless on the board.
Sure, you come into that round and it's just Sheriffs, whatever, for EDG, but there's something to be said about how T1 are playing these dual setups on the B site. When you think back to the pistol round where Meteor gets the ace, he's tucked in Cubby, Izu is right up against Wood there, and they've got this great crossfire going. Then here it's very similar, where Izu's actually tucked over behind this green box. So they're playing on opposite sides of the site very nicely, and EDG seems very slow to adjust and haven't done a great job of clearing away those corners.
Again, it feels very surprising to be saying these things. We're so used to seeing EDG in high peak form right now. Lovely attempt there with the jump spot coming in as well, just kind of adding layers to it. So they're going to show that the operator is in play. Initially was posted towards that B site, now obviously free to rotate.
Seems like EDG want to play some of these slower rounds. It's looked like Chichu and Simon have been sort of hand-holding on opposite sides of the map. Last few rounds they've been playing B long, now working into showers, considering maybe leaving in embed or whatnot. But even when they found the early picks, it's not like they're relying on lurks and late round teleports to come into a site. They've reset into B splits pretty frequently.
And that's kind of a reset on the timer of is someone here. Okay, Prowler's connected. We've also got pressure up long. That's at least 2 players you could maybe extrapolate. You're going to know Kong now as well. This feels very indicative of it being this B site hit.
It's hard to exec here though, because there's a knife to shut down the head.
Molly again towards Lung. This time they beat it though. We're going to have the ult on top. Izu tries to make a stand, goes down. Stax still on site, and Stax controlling the site. He's got an out on Kong. He does. He's bringing EDG to their knees. Chichu a 1v3. Good luck. Buzz is having none of it. T1 are locked in.
T1 just have every single answer in response to these B-side execs.
And Stax looked so calm in that as well. He didn't look overly phased, overly fussed. He held himself perfectly in these scenarios. It's incredible the amount of pressure on that side.
Coming in with the utility, the knife, then Just playing in backside cleanly like this.
And getting these 1v1 fights is incredibly surprising. I was expecting that swing a little bit quicker coming out here as well. I know it's not going to be easy, it's chaotic on both sides, but you can't give a player like Stax that room to work. I need to see EDG waking up.
It feels a little reminiscent of yesterday and EDG's game against G2 on Lotus, where they kept attacking the A side over and over again. Now we've seen, what, 3-4 B execs, and every time, just good gunplay of T1 have shut it down.
And a new conundrum, but again, it's resolved. Izu this time to deny the early start. They expect the pressure from Long, and Sylvan gonna then backfill the space. That site is inaccessible. You've got to find something else to do here, EDG, or find a new layer to this, because they're just getting decimated. This is not difficult for T1. This looks easy against the reigning champions. This looks easy.
Meteor's just a god. He's sitting at 12-2 after 6 rounds. And a combination of finding these timings to push through the smokes, right? Izu does it, then Sylvan. And you're never clearing Meteor in that cubby.
Meteor individually has more kills than the entirety of EDG together. That's it. What world are we living in?
Unfathomable.
And I love it for T1. I love seeing these players, as said, who've been so driven in VALORANT to show this level, this capability, right? Any fan would love to see this sort of thing. But I also don't want EDG to suddenly lose all of that bravado, all of that ability that sat so well beside them.
We've heard EDG say, you know, they're no strangers to the lower bracket. They ran it back domestically to come ahead in the finals and become China's #1 seed. But something feels off with this team right now, and they have to course correct quickly. There's no longer any time to work with, at least on this opening map.
Oh, that pivot point, isn't it? And it feels like EDG haven't solved so many of these different problems. This unwillingness to back away from that B hit leaves them in the dark towards A.
It's also looking at the double ults, right? Chichu and Simon are ready to maybe look for an A exec. Now they've just got the null command to send it in. Flash out of the smoke. Hong Kong's gonna be sending it into turns to Lamps. What is going on?
It's only him. He's held up. Meteor will not relent. He will not give up his sight. And he's gonna punish every single one. T1 again. Another flawless round. Do you burn another timeout? Or do you just let this go? What do you do in EDG's position? Because this is not the team who won champs. This is not that team right now.
I genuinely think you have to pull the timeout. Their execs just look sloppy.
And the spacing between it, the stall coming out from the Vice utility, the mollies coming in from Sylvan, they're great, but these aren't new things that EDG have never seen before.
No, you've got, right, flashes from Meteor and Stax countering out the exec. Those second, third players coming to Cider just getting shut down. But also, their slow play. Now that there's an op in the hands of Buzz, that's not going to be easy to keep working the map, playing it slowly, so they show an eye down towards B long to maybe pull a rotate. Now sending the ulti in. That's a surprise.
He's still going to go there. Does it divide as much? Not really. Stack's going to then invest off. Buzz still not really moved. All pressured in showers. A lot of this site is still controlled by T1, but EDG have a decent position towards Lamps. They can dig their heels in here.
Yeah, nobody's got the ultimate as well. Some options to trap play off of contact, but Izu with this ultimate, I mean, they're just going to go running through.
Yeah, there should be, you know, green light, go for it, get in there. Meteor fancying it. They're still on line of weapons. Meteor, they have no idea. Now they see him, but now it doesn't matter. It's not late even on the call then. Chichu turns, does get Meteor, but the paranoia mounting. They're burning every ult they got. G might scrape by here, but Buzz and Selvin, oh, coming together at the right time, at the right place. Simon, good luck. The time is too late.
EDG finally on the board, and they put everything in it.
I think I saw a kitchen sink flying past at that point.
Maybe the biggest investment I've ever seen in a MasterCard Thrifty, putting 2 ultimates into the challenge. But really, it was that Lamps control, like you were talking about, that worked out nicely. Meteor only gets that first kill. I think there's also a nade that lands right on Stax' head. Didn't hear that one coming in, that's for sure.
Oh, but again, it's so close. It's so close. It's almost too close. Oh, okay, back through. That's one, right? This could be, you get the blood pumping a little bit, wake you up. EDG showing that, hey, we can get on the board here, but you got to find more success than that. One's nowhere near enough.
Exactly. Issue is now the ult cycle is down, and those ultimates were really impactful in both the hit and the post-plant situation. So EDG are going to move back into their slow rounds right now, but they seem a little bit timid in terms of the angles they're taking, because they know T1 have the good enough econ to have bought back into the operator, so it's only after maybe you see a peek that finally the Showers players start creeping. Finally we see that creep into long. They've left Spike all the way back in towards spawn.
Yeah. Again, this little bit of a pace change is interesting, right? A little bit of a gear shift, slowing it down. I don't think that's going to cause too many issues for T1 yet. As it stands, though, it does seem as though T1 are in that 3-play stack towards A. Quite like what EDG are attempting here, but this late creep into Hookah will be curious.
Yeah, Meteor and Izu have done a great job of holding on to Hookah control pretty consistently. Although will be Meteor in a 1v2.
Yeah, this could be nice though. They have no idea. Turns a flash, no sweat. He's gonna hold this down, and once again it offsets this hit. It delays the approach. He spots out one, calls it out. Izu fills the void. They are perfectly in unison. T1 shoulder to shoulder, making EDG again look frayed around the edges.
There's just no time left either. Meteor's still on the hunt. Look
He's
at this
hungry.
guy.
Oh, he wanted more. Choo-Choo denies, but still, this is done. 9 seconds. Put a fork in it. Simon, there's nothing to do but die. This dominance from T1 is absolutely gorgeous to witness. They've got a great read, and EDG look asleep.
Meteor's decision-making is so snappy in those moments too, right? He gets the first kill, doesn't immediately pop the ult because he re-clears and waits and says, is there going to be a second player to come in and swing me? Once there isn't, then the Steel Garden comes down after Kongkong's already been sacrificed into the site. It's just these perfect moments of stall that continue to come in, and EDG have no response.
There's one watch party I'd like to be in, and the other one probably less so right now.
Yeah, one's a party, the other one is not.
Yeah, early showers control, looking to try and vie for that. No one quite filling the space behind it yet, still being shouldered on the corner there by Sylvan.
Cool anti-read. Sylvan's going to take contact, but Stax has a judge because last time on the eco, EDG attacked into lamps.
Buzz, the operator not big enough for you. You fancied a go on the ult as well. No worries, okay. Doesn't get the connection he wanted, but repositioning. T1 feeling a little cocky, right? It feels like they're so willing to fight on this. Feeling like they're favored, and right now they certainly are. Big shot! Buzz, beautiful. Can't switch out in time, though. EDG trading back in. Nice, though, from Stax. Holds it down once again. Denying the split, denying the crunch. Stax in control. Nobody. You got anything. He's got himself Phantom, maybe a chance here.
It's a 1-on-2, but no options to get to the teleporter anytime soon. 45 seconds to work with. And now that he's spotted out, has to take the shot to take it down. He's gonna barely be able to escape and get the spike on the ground.
Okay, he's gonna get out of that. Fragment, knife, all still in play.
But there's like a seize as well, potentially to try and catch him. Izu's gonna try and make sure he can't escape. Just misses.
It's away from the tether, but nobody gonna just play towards elbow. It feels very predictable, readable, but does T1 get away with this? Can they clear this cleanly? Yeah, they can. T1, again, look, just not looking phased. Again, in my mind, there's a lot to be said about T1 playing it incredibly well, but EDG looking flat. And it feels like we're at that impasse almost between these two teams.
What I'm impressed with is even if you ignore all of T1's utility, just their site-holding mechs playing off one another. They're quickly repositioning, but always putting themselves in positions where there's two people holding complementary lines on every single avenue of attack. And yeah, that's what's gone so well for them.
It's simplistic, but it works. It works so beautifully. I feel like we haven't seen too many fakes in this, or kind of committed fakes. We haven't seen them trying to pull that rotation too much. Yeah, maybe a little bit of early contact, but beyond that, it's very simple in approach from EDG, and these simplistic kind of 3-2 splits are being met with T1 reading it easily, not feeling phased, not feeling pushed off. I want to see them get a little bit more complicated with this. For now, Operator's still in play for Buzz. That was recovered in the last round.
But finally, EDG have the ult cycle working in their favor again. I think they're going to look for a quick attack over into this A side.
He's looking disruptive, though. Tries to divide, get in front of them. This isn't bad. He's still got a position to play from. Buzz controls towards Shower, gives a little bit of space to fall back from, but he fights forward. Still goes for more. Buzz looking electric right now. Nobody and Smoggy, the only two on their feet, trying to get Simon back up here, fighting together. EDG controlling backside.
It's a brilliant call from EDG to keep fighting forward, just get away from the operator. But Izu has still been holding on this B site the entire time. EDG have left Simon to deal with the Oppa late, and they can even pivot back into him if he finds the pick on the lurk.
Izu, does he hear it? Does he know he does? Do they check? They've got to. They do. Smoggy gets him. Rotation caught. EDG. Finally getting a second.
That's EDG finding a moment to actually thrive in the chaos. Seeing that narrow path forward. Because without Shower's control, it was very near to slip away. Buzz played it super nicely, dodging out on the flash, coming back in for the swing. But EDG managed to pick up Simon, leave him as that late lurk, and call themselves out of a really tough round.
Nice!
A little bit of a buffer, not much, it's 2 rounds. You gotta, I want to see at least 3 here. Izu, red alert. Does he get to live? No one there quick enough to chase him down, but certainly enough to pressure towards Hookah.
Last time EDG used the Brim ult to exec into the B site, removed a lot of the corners T1 have been abusing in this game. Looks like they want to have some repeat success with that one. And now that they baited out the KO knife, they can look to pop into the site quickly, but T1 have done a great job to rotate 4 players into the space and get the full walk up with Buzz out of showers.
Buzz. I mean, GG, we reading that? I mean, it depends how far he wants to go on this. Buzz doesn't need to go too far, but Chichu, he read it really well then. Very present to keep that in mind, and that should open the gate towards A. Now, you don't know how much freedom you have, but this is certainly indicative.
That said, still a lot of utility here. Meteor can play around, stalling it out for the rotates to come on in. He's got a friend in Sax. He's getting in front of the smokes.
Meteor, he's feeling a little mad about that one. Kong beat that. He was able to satchel over the top to take the space away. Dealt with as well. Kong again, starting to warm in this. Izu and Sylvan, tough predicament to play out from. Plenty of ults, nice from Simon. Very aware round from EDG. Maybe a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here. Izu, a highlight player, but a 1v4. A lot to ask, and it's not going to be answered today. EDG getting the minimum rounds they can here. 3, barely enough to work with.
Yeah, getting the 2 at the end gives them some amount of hope. But this half they're about to go into, the attacking side, they only got 1 round versus T1 last time. They've got to look mad different if they're going to take this first map.
Had it with your old phone? We've got you. At Verizon, trade in any old phone for iPhone 16 Pro on us, on any plan. And get iPad and Apple Watch Series 10, all 3 on us. That's up to $2,000 in value, only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives
in Bangkok, T1 are currently 17-8 in pistol rounds. They lead the event in these low buys, and EDG are trailing big time coming into the second half. For EDG, they have to start out on a strong foot here or quickly start thinking about Haven.
Yeah, that is the conversation. We are in best of 5, so the conversation gets, it's longer. It is the marathon and not a sprint. We love to repeat it, but it is true. But the confidence alone that T1 should be able to take away from that first half is unbelievable, right? To be able to come into this, look near on faultless, and EDG scraping by with 3. It puts them right under the gun again.
It's a lot of pressure on EDG for sure. Looks like T1 want to set up over towards this A side early. You can see Simon playing all the way back in spawn, ready to quickly rotate over to whichever side of the map needs him. With that Tejo drone going down B, seeing nothing. Now Simon can repo over towards A and have the knife ready to stall the hit.
That's nice. Buzz gone. Oh. All right. And,
well,
fair enough.
Guess it's a 4v4.
and again, Izu, not one of the standout players, at least so far in this map, but he's certainly been a name that's been catching a lot of attention throughout, so see if he can maybe start heating up as well. But hey, it's been the Meteor show so far. Lovely flash. What? Huh? How are EDG the ones to walk out of that okay? Okay.
Just keep left clicking, I guess. Eventually it's gonna work out.
Oh man, that is wild. Stacks and he... this round is ridiculous. This round is... Did he get spotted? He did. Nobody really sharp. But it's down to Izu. 1v2, not easy, and nobody not letting it slip now. Diffuse for EDG, and that round felt bizarre.
It frankly was. Every time a team was at a numbers disadvantage, they're getting multi-kills at the exact same time. But that is now 3 rounds in a row for EDG. And remember, this team played T1 on this map before, and they got kind of blown out of the water, especially on their defending side. T1, I think, did a very good job of punishing towards the B side of the map pretty consistently. Usually it's just going to be Chichu and nobody playing over on that side, but looks like EDG have changed things up slightly. Chichu's playing 2 rounds in a row over towards A. So trying to make sure T1's prep isn't so simple coming into the second half, and already showing the adjustments that'll give EDG fans hope that they have a better plan coming in this time around.
That is something we need to look at throughout this series, is those adjustments, right? A lot of the maps now being seen, a lot more being revealed from both of these sides.
And frankly, it seemed like the adjustments for EDG have been a weak point. If you take their series yesterday versus G2, this is a team that learns from their mistakes, that can tap into their individuals and that firepower too when the actual planning, when the calling isn't going right.
And that's, for EDG here, you're looking for clean rounds. They do have the better weaponry. Oh, Buzz! He's right behind you! And he's got help! Buzz! Just decimating them! He's on 5 HP, but he's still swinging! Okay, Spike's gone down. We've got Chichu and Smoggy coming back in.
Oh, that's a huge knife. It's going to spot both players. Meteor's right flush with the wall. Again, T1 beautifully.
You can't let him get away with it! T1 steal away the round, and EDG again being punished!
T1 in that cubby corner on B site. Just own EDG. This team can't do anything about it. Both halves now. To come in with a MasterCard Thrifty with Buzz somehow getting that timing into the smoke is crazy.
This is near on unforgivable though. You got given that, that tiny bit of chance. And you can see what it does to the opposition. You can see how much that gets them closer to that finish line for map 1. They're up to 10. EDG, the opportunity dwindling here. But can they replicate the same sort of thing? Sheriffs, Stingers, Classics, it ain't much, but Smoggy, he's gonna give it a damn good go here. Not sharp enough this time. And again, you don't fight one of T1. There's 2, there's 3. They are all there. I like the fast flank, but what does it matter when they're gonna have side control unless there's a little bit of stall?
Yeah, EDG trying to dominate space into lamps right now. Buy some time, but Buzz perched up in heaven is now gonna switch over, get the spike on the ground. That's more orbs to him. Everything going T1's way.
Chichu taking the very long road to get over here. That's comfortable, and now the quiet is so loud. The fact that no one's seen Chichu, surely someone goes, probably a flank here. We still have the utility behind us, might have taken the long route. He does get a step closer, but look at these repositions in the post plant. No one's really vulnerable to him trying to work back into this. He'll have to give away the game by obviously tapping the spike. There's the awareness now. Meteor goes down for it. Can you cost him any more, Chichu? Tap on the spike. Someone will check, and it was Buzz. Easy in the end, 3 standing, 11 rounds, EDG. You had your chance. You might have let it slip.
Certainly seems that way. T1 not phased at all by EDG, because they kind of know that whenever on defense EDG run into some trouble, they just start walking at you. They say, hey, individuals, go get some kills. That first fight down short didn't work, so of course Chichu is going to be finding some opportunity on the flank. This is kind of the last chance now for EDG. Light armor on 4 players. Buzz with some options here on a judge to wreak havoc to the lightly shielded players.
On off from the ult as well. Buzz closing in on that. Now, how do they want to start into this? They're not in a hurry. 11-4.
Yeah, often T1 will slow things down, see if EDG are going to overstep, and then they can bank off of Stack's ultimate to actually exec into a site. Main problem is going to be the Vise playing away from the util. That's stacked over on A short.
Kong Kong. Takes a lot to be brave in these situations, but they're going to try and stand and fight on this one, and they might get punished. Buzz, head first, Meteor with the 1-2 punch. T1, they're already in on the site. EDG had a quick rotate off the back of the drone that went down from nobody, so they have the extra body here. Simon is at least controlling some of the space. Chichu now, working back in through from Lamps. Going to be forced away from this, though.
He needed that. Now EDG come on in, but Sylvan still locking them down, seeing just a pixel angle over the smoke.
Yeah, Chichu and nobody up against it now. T1 with the numbers. Izu waiting and watching, controlling so much of this site. There's nothing for nobody to do. He makes it go, but it is nowhere near good enough. 12-4. T1 are out for blood.
It's just a beautiful thing to watch right now. First, it's the pop flash, then this shot. I think, by the way, Sylvan or Meteor spamming off of minimap because Buzz like barely saw him off his shoulder inside of the smoke. And that's netting them a kill somehow. Then their fundamentals in the post plant always getting ready to swing off one another. EDG, what do you have left in the tank? There's a tail ult, but it's 4 Guardians and a Judge. About as bad as it can possibly get here on 12.
Scraping what they can together, making something out of nothing, trying to at least. Chichu holding the corner, trying to show a little presence, but there's a lot of players heading their way.
If they lose Hookah, it's over for EDG. The Thorns buying some amount of time for them to look back in towards Octagon.
So tense between these two, though. He's going to trigger the wall towards long. That's a lot of bodies now spotted. I'm looking at Meteor's timing here. Does he try and catch a little bit of a window on it? Oh, and he's rewarded! Nobody to... Ah! Meteor getting away with murder! And T1 just explode on the site! Kang and Simon left to pick up the pieces. Oh, he's trying. Simon's trying, but trying is not enough. Map 1, like a dagger to the heart of EDG. T1 walk away at 13-4.
Just devastating, destructive. Meteor and T1 just waylaid EDG out of this.
Jen Lee here with Coach Autumn. Now, Autumn, starting with Meteor's ace, everyone on T1 looks extremely locked in and dialed in too. So my question is, what did you guys have for breakfast? Where is this confidence coming from? 감독님, 메테오 선수의 에이스부터 시작해서 정말 선수들 모두 오늘 최고점을 찍고 있는 것 같거든요. 도대체 T1한테 무슨 일이 있었던 걸까요?
아무래도 선수들이 저희가 한번 지고 나서부터 오히려 그거를 동기부여 삼아서 우리가 여기서 배운 게 있으면은 그걸로 이제 극복해주자. 다음에 또 만나게 되면 무조건 복수할 수 있다라는 자신감을 심는 데 집중을 했고, 선수들이 실제로 오히려 저희가 목숨이 없으니까, 뒤가 없으니까 정말로 자기들이 가지고 있는 모든 걸 보여주기 위해서 게임하고 있다 생각하거든요. 그래서 그런 자신감의 원동력이 선수들의 절실함에 있는 것 같습니다.
after dropping that one game against EDG, we just felt like, you know what, we have nothing else to lose. Let's have a lot of confidence. So confidence was definitely something that we worked hard on to build. And also because we have our backs against the wall and now we have no chance to fail, everyone's just stepping up, trying to prove what they can do and show the world that we can be a best team. And that is the source of our confidence. Thank you, Autumn, and good luck.
Ain't that the damn truth? Welcome back, everyone, as T1 absolutely dominate the competition 13-4 to open up RPO5 here on Bind. Of course, Bold Boy alongside Brendan Mimi. And let's take a look at our HyperX Reflex moment of the day. You already know what's happening, people. It's going to go to Meteor. Mimi, I didn't even get to watch this, so I'm watching this for the first time.
They're practicing confidence, and there's no better way to start than this. EDG look lackadaisical coming out of the smoke, and they get cut down by Meteor. What a round it was for him to kick this game off.
Yeah, I mean, it's explosive, isn't it, to just begin? I mean, one of the things that you pulled and we're talking about briefly, I think, was just T1 success rate in pistols, and I know Ender was talking about it as well.
They've been the best team this event.
And it just starts them off on a lightning-fast pace on Bind. It's a map where you want to get going strong. Really pretty frequently, I think, as well. And if you can do that against the attack side compositions.
God damn!
This is just not normal, man. It's not normal what Meteor was doing to them.
379!
To open up like this in the best of 5 setting. Listen,
Yo, didn't we go into the half and my guy was at like 20 kills or something?
Literally.
I just sat down and we had to get back up again. Like, it's, me complaining that I have to work, but honestly, this was just like a rapid map. It felt like we barely got started.
I wanted to show a couple rounds as well, because it felt like that pistol round was not the end of the struggles for EDG. They're playing a composition here that is really exec heavy. They have the KO, they have this Tejo, they have a lot of exec power. But what they were doing round after round was running these executes on B. And what T1 was doing was flying back in their opponent's smoke, waiting out the first volley of utility, and then immediately surging back in, flashing forward with their own KO, flooding through those smokes, and just decimating EDG.
And honestly, I think T1's protocols were pretty good in terms of just trying to play around Simon's flashes, but Simon wasn't flashing. Like, I gotta be upfront about this. I think that the initiation factor was kind of missing for them. So many of these hits are going through because they don't slow play enough, don't pull out a prerequisite util. Thorns are slowing them down. They only started doing it round 10, 11, 12 when he started actually slowing down the game, pulling out the util so they could go for some of those hits. But by that point, it's too late, man. I mean, you're coming into the map with completely the wrong game plan overall, and it didn't fill me with confidence whatsoever. Now, they did eventually get a handle on it, but like I said, when you get to that second half, you're already down at that point, and then you get thriftied after, you know, winning your pistol round where it should be you getting a step up. It doesn't look good.
They lost this map last time, 13-7. This time they lose it 13-4. It only got more dominant for EDG, and I'm so disappointed because I think the prep should have been around the fact that you're playing into a comp that has some of the strongest stall utility in the game. You have a Brim, you have a Vise going up against you. They weren't baiting out the Thorns the majority of the rounds. When they were defaulting, they weren't actually taking those timings they found to go for their executes. It just looked completely out of sorts for EDG.
Guys, you keep talking about plays, where you put stuff, and who you shoot, what you do. The reality of the situation is, T1 don't give a crap. They are vibing. They don't care. Whatever happens, happens. They're big chillin'. And when you are big chillin', let me tell you, you're feeling pretty damn good. Especially when you're going into Haven and you get to run the ISO potentially here. Who knows what the hell they're gonna do? I mean, this, guys, team, that's insane.
I don't think Media's ever lost in the Gulag. Listen, he pulls into that kill contract, he's getting a kill almost every single time, bro.
Yeah,
almost
like
100%
yesterday,
of the time. Yeah, he's different. When they play on this comp, they are different, T1. And they've set themselves up so nicely for a deep run here now in this best of 5. Now listen, it's still anyone's game. These are marathons, not sprints when you get into this territory of tournaments. But this is such a great beginning for T1. And what Autumn said really resonated with me out of the coaching interview, which was him saying that they're playing with no pressure because they've realized it's kind of like, you know, it's house money, the pressure's off their shoulders. If the whole team is bought into that mentality, it's very dangerous. I'm gonna say it. I've seen one team do it once before in my very long years of esports. I'm not gonna mention the team or the game, but listen, what I will say is they won the whole bloody thing. They won the whole bloody tournament when they had that mentality, when they were just letting loose, having fun, and all the pressure was off them.
And that, I think, is the most important thing. Above all else, right? you're in this situation, you know the fans, all these people here, they go nuts whenever EDG does something. You know, Kong breathes and people are like, whoa, you know, losing their mind. And you know what it is, Mimi? That builds on you after a while. I have to imagine. And for T1, they're like, screw it.
Yeah, I mean, EDG, they won the championship in Seoul, but it is still a team with a lot of young players. It's the first time they've had the expectation of being champions and aren't the underdog from China. And they're coming into Haven, which they are yet to play at this event, with a comp change compared to China. It's nothing crazy. Breach, Taeho going into the mix, but you're going up against a T1 that is undefeated on Lotus, Fran.
And for EDG, I hate to say it, but I need to see better supportive util from Simon. I wasn't seeing it on Bind. It was almost non-existent in a lot of aspects, even though T1 had good game plans for it. But you are literally playing to essentially empower Kong to deal with two heavy hitters. He's got a tangle with Buzz and Meteor. Kang's got a hell of a job for him. He needs to be supported effectively.
Confidence is high. This is one of T1's absolute best maps, and they have a prime opportunity to go up 2-0.
Massive opportunity for T1 here. You're so right there, Mimi. Let's send it back over to your casters. It's Pansy and Ender for the call.
Yeah, no pressure on T1, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Now, what up to the good? The scoreline actually reflecting it too, right? Walking out with a 13-4. Amazing.
Just
now,
absolutely smashing.
Haven, a comfortable map for them. They've looked good here. They beat Vitality here. Now, did Vitality look good? No. No, absolute bin juice from Vitality. But EDG, they're a little on the ropes in my mind, right? Map 1 wasn't a pretty affair. Those first couple of rounds were messy, and now we get Meteor able to call up his own number. We've got Buzz looking to do it as well. EDG got their work cut out now.
Yeah, if you thought Meteor's Vise was good, let's see him on the Yoru. Already T1 moving 4 players into a very forward A lobby trap. Getting right up close personal next to this smoke. Nobody has the drone to clear it out, but it's already a fight.
But do they clear? They do. They give it a glance. A cursory glance is not enough. T1 trading out perfectly. Again, they stand in unison and they destroy EDG.
EDG and corners are their worst nemesis.
What are they doing?
Everything T1 does is just abusing close corners and good play, one off another. These little ping pong setups where you bait out the shot with one player or coming off the corner. I like that little paranoia used to support. Just having those extra layers of utility. And then the player's trying to run away, it just walks straight into your crosshair.
And again, not only is it a frustrating round because you get melted like that, but you feel red. There's a lot of like compounding problems for EDG. Now, that is the first round, we could shake it off if it was any other day of the week, but they only got 4 rounds in the last map, so I do worry a little bit. Here, show me more. You are the champions, the reigning champion, right? You're gonna have that big old title, got that big old, bracelet we keep going on about. Show me a little bit of something from this, right? Maybe not in this round. This is one sheriff and a classic or two. But after this, a little bit more.
That said, EDG have now found both Cypher tripwires.
Very nice.
T1 are leaning pretty heavily over into Link, and it's a bit messy, but EDG quick to pivot into C.
Okay, Izu now going to be threatened here. They're all on the side. They're all towards that smoke. There is a deadly threat, and Sylvan can't deal with all of it. No, he can't! Better! Much better from EDG, bursting out together, fighting as a pack. Stacks, I was really in them, trying to build something up there. Calm it down. Kong's going to get that Phantom. He's good. Got this sorted. Buzz going to have to give away the game. And for EDG, a critical round here.
Yeah, I think, honestly, Buzz might just want to save this Outlaw. It'll do good for him. EDG did a much better job clearing into that backside, like you're saying, right? I think Simon had a great flash. They're pushing through as the Omen smoke. That sort of allowed T1 to get the flood going, ended up falling down, and their spacing as they went out. It's one after another.
Weapon here.
I think jumping too with the first player just to disrupt some crosshairs. Much better work than we've seen so far from EDG.
Yeah, this is just tempered towards the end there for Buzz. Just going to try and keep hold of this. This is a very well-needed round, though, for EDG, right? I can't stress it enough. As much as, yes, it is best of 5, yes, it is a longer series in that regard. This is a confidence builder of a round, right? You're working together, shoulder to shoulder. It's just kind of brawling out. You make it count against much better weapons, right? It starts to feel a little bit better. Takes away a little bit of that chip on the shoulder. That should kind of shake off a little bit of the pressure. And how does T1 respond with this as well? Because they could go for a bit of a broken by themselves, but it certainly won't be pretty.
Yeah, it's just going to be the one Bulldog picked up from Meteor. because they only bought 4 rifles in the last round. And everyone on EDG has heavy armor, so this Outlaw not going to be too threatening. Early combo into a lobby that EDG are just going to dodge away from and quickly clear into the space. They don't want to get into that situation where they have to re-clear A to a forward stack from T1 like on that pistol.
Right place, right time. Good trade for Kong Kong though. Keeping this now level pegging, but there are players on this side, so it could get a little bit scrappy. I want to see this kept clean from EDG. Buzz rattling a bullet through Kong Kong, and now they're down a player, and Stacks. No! Oh, Simon does get headshot though. This makes him pretty vulnerable to this, and Buzz is feeling a little tricky. Nice from EDG, navigating the threats. But look at the HP. Smoggy, 10. Simon, 35. Silver trying to take on the better HP Chichu. It's possible for Izu, and it doesn't happen. Close, not close enough in the end. EDG weather the storm.
That's the control I was hoping to see out of EDG, right? As soon as they find that opening pick, they take it slower, right? They're holding for T1 to fight into them, as the disadvantaged team often needs to end up doing. Even here, where Stacks is able to push into the smoke, EDG calmly deal with him.
A little bit of a fight. I like this from both teams now, even in these lower rounds, right? The pistol's just coming out, right place for it. I like what they were trying to do, you know what I mean? Love this from both sides. Scrappy. 2 consecutive rounds here for EDG. They need this third. See how they start this.
Holding the stun just off of the contact, little combo piece to come through, and Kong Kong's quickly taken into the space.
Yo, that's right.
He gets a kill!
He walks the smoke like that. Stack, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, okay, Simon's just like, someone just got jump scared by this. Surely not a third, right? Surely not a third. EDG kept on their toes here, but doing well, dealing with the trail of players crawling out from sewer.
I mean, it's unexpected, that's for sure. T1 were certainly trying to get cute with it, and Izu as well takes the timing to isolate the fight. Spike's being planted too, so maybe with these cages and smokes going out, he has a timing window to slip into.
They're trying to get a little techie on this. I like that. And I gotta say, Sylvan on that Omen, like it, like what we've been seeing from him. Probably one of those cerebral players I've seen as of late. But can they clear EDG? Dedicated in the ball. It's a belting shot, but Chichu's here now. Starting to warm up a little, looking much better overall.
Chichu was the standout player from this event, right? So to see him now back-to-back rounds, 3Ks for him.
7-1 overall.
Exactly, especially when these rounds are getting a little bit closer than you would like from EDG. Still, EDG dealing with these one-by-one walk-ups very nicely. Can't complain.
Oh, that is nice from Chichu.
Nice!
They need someone to become a bit of a talisman for this team. Turn up when they need it. 7-1 certainly a good look. And maybe T1 just kind of slow it down a little bit. Go back to a little bit of the norm after what was a very interesting previous round.
I've got to say, I like Kong Kong going for the Outlaw here. I don't think enough teams have been abusing low buys by going for these Outlaw purchases, even on the attack. That said, he's getting all the way in the backside of me. Look at that, that's pretty!
He tried to put on a show for us. Stack's gonna stop it, but still, he should be dead in the water. Yeah, Izu, last one to try and make a stand, but this is better from EDG. Controlled, poised, handled, lovely stuff. Up to 4 now, making their response on the board.
And this was T1's map pick coming in to this series. Of course, Haven, very familiar territory. They've been strong on it so far. But we hadn't seen EDG play this map just yet so far in this tournament. So far in the important swing rounds, all right from them. I think the big challenge is soon to come from EDG. They're dealing nicely on the anti-eco. They're now coming into a round where every ult in the game, basically, is going to be available. T1 have 4. Just the Euro ult they're going to be missing. Also looks like Buzz wants to buy down into an operator, so they saved into that. EDG will realize that and note that possibility coming out of the timeout.
It certainly will, and again, if we're going to note the early timeouts for EDG in map 1, have to say the same thing here for T1. Relatively early, maybe not as early, but still, enough going wrong, enough to talk through here, because the rounds have been a little bit volatile, to say the least, from T1.
Yeah.
Maybe just settle into the game, slow it down a touch.
That's the thing, though. They always have the option to speed up in a mid-round, right? This team is going to combo the undercut from ISO with that Sova ulti just to get one-shots against you. They can use that Nate lobby. They can use that when you try to plant the spike, you know? It's very versatile. And, of course, the kill contract, too, for Meteor. Even just using that to disrupt a site hit, pull your jet out of the equation, well, then how do you break out of a choke? T1 have a lot of different ideas to work with, and they're going to start out by opening strong into A lobby again.
4 players for T1 on this A side as well. All eggs in one basket. B side doesn't even have a trip towards it. They does have the player of Izu coming in, but once they're really committed, they do have the ult. So maybe it's just to put this in play, but EDG so far, right reaction, right approach.
I like
right
that
side.
EDG are pinging out, too, the potential walk-up, so not walking into that at all for the time being, although now that they've used the drone, they're pretty committed towards this B or C side. It's very hard to re-clear A lobby without the Teo drone, as we saw in the pistol.
I like it. I like that they've just started quickly here, still above a minute, cleared the trip through towards Garage, and now they're just kind of going through a pretty well-rounded default, but on this side there is Buzz, and Buzz as an operator. This is a lot, though. You've got to imagine there'll be util here. Oh, stolen away! Right out in front of him! And now Meteor, you better not miss! He doesn't! Kong goes down! It felt like death from either side.
Meteor calls it a kill contract. I called it kill steal. Just plucking Kong away from that, but still Buzz is waiting on the other side of this smoke.
Yeah, Buzz doesn't want to give this up. Trying to stick around on the site.
He
See the ult coming in. This is nice. He's still got room. He's trying to make up for it. Kill stolen before, but made up for now. It's Simon and Chichu trying to claw into this one. That's brutal, though. Chichu being the headliner now. Put out, leaving Simon on 30 HP. Not going to get it. T1 back in the game here.
Those are the nastiest ultimates just coming online right there, though. T1 disrupting the hit with the Sova ult from far. That's just crazy. Okay, it would have been a miss right between the legs. Oh, good, we'll take those. I love how Buzz plays it here, too.
Wow.
Very nearly 3 kills.
But again, I do like how EDG started that round, going through the, the protocol list, going down it, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, clearing the util. Sadly for them, went back in towards all those ults, and big investment on the other side now as well. Buzz?
Don't know what he's looking at, but right now T1 have slept down into mid. Chichu's not looking at it. And now EDG boxed into this A site, forced to move towards the operator.
Buzz got to get out of there. Yeah, takes the TP. Backs away, finds a new angle to play from. There's still... Quick as lightning from Buzz. And EDG now down to the 3, still trying to make it in towards the site. The crossbar, the flush, it is perfect. T1 flawlessly closing the gap.
The work Buzz has been able to do on these deeper lines with the operator on the A site has just been gorgeous. I mean, turning away, backing off of the flash, swinging back into the angle again. It's just a thing of beauty. And EDG are forced into the play because of that early pick into mid. He's re-swinging the op line, using the clone to buffer it out as well. A flash too. Picking off Simon, jumping out of the air. That Yoru micro is just impeccable.
And I love this reactionary timeout from EDG. We saw it earlier for T1 pumping their brakes around that 6th round that they then converted. This operator coming out, the switch-ups they've had have been working. EDG unable to problem solve quick enough on the fly. They want to slow things down, right? This is a good lead for them to start with. Those 4 in succession has got to feel good, but enough has been answered back. So time for them to prove that they can solve it too.
Really, if I'm thinking about, Coach approaching into this timeout, I'm thinking 2 rounds ago when EDG slowly worked in the mid-space as a team and they used the Tejo drone into Garage. Then they didn't have it for the A-lobby re-clear, so they were showing very early Bleach utility. That sort of primed and told Buzz this play is coming. So T1 quickly got in and were able to disrupt the hit. I think EDG, I like those looks where they're, taking into that mid-space, dealing with the Cypher utility so that T1 can't just heavy stack onto the A side, but they need to keep that drone alive, or clearing out the Yoru from A-long is just not realistic.
solution for EDG here. As you said, couple options that they could lean towards. And does Buzz switch up now? Does he try and post up somewhere different? Is there a new look? We'll see. A different TP out as well, quite far away. And I don't think that's a bad read either. It feels like that C site, that kind of B pressure has been a little harder to handle, but again, very similar start here. It does look like it's intended to finish C. We still have Sylvan here. We did have that TP taken. There are players on this side of the map. There's a lot of players here. Buzz is going to let them know. That's going to ring the dinner bell. They want in. Sylvan's gone down. They find the side. Smoggy gets caught out. Izu's right there. Trading back and back. T1 trying to hold on, but Kang is tearing them apart. Has he read this?
I got the spike.
Has he got an idea? Kang, are you serious right now? Oh my God. Both of these players, brilliant in their own way. Kang daring Stax to take a look. Stax, he says he'll have a go, but Kang, just that bit better, keeps EDG with a gap in the lead.
Kang's feeling himself again. What a round out of the duelist. EDG choosing to speed up into that C hit. And it looked ugly for a second because Izu in this spot instantly plucks out Smoggy, turns around into this fight in Garage. And yet, Kang still managed to get into backside.
He saved him here.
Let's go!
He needed one of those. Top of the board now for EDG. Getting a little warmer. But T1 not done either.
I like the adjustment of those missiles twice in a row now. Buzz has had to teleport away. Yet, if EDG run the same round, the trap setup in Garage is going to be deadly with Paranoia in Sylvan's hand.
Waiting on the verge for the commitment now. Spike coming back around towards the B side, but information. Buzz wants it, he gets it. Plenty seen. It should be enough to give away the game. Buzz? Buzz? That's a little too far in my mind. Hoping, praying that'd work out. It's not gonna happen. Meteor, are you gonna walk smokes as well? I mean, he's got double tap on, but this feels almost too easy until then. Easy the one to do well, but it's EDG finding stability after their own timeout.
I like the idea from T1, but that's a near sight, not a blind. And Buzz ends up getting punished for that. EDG finding continued success with these early mid-works. Again, yeah, Chichu is still going to be able to see Buzz, who's trying to play that shorty game against him. Good reactions from him.
EDG, starting to see Kang. There it is, looking at this back again. He's starting to hit a little harder here.
It's not like T1 are making it easy. They're consistently flooding into sites. EDG are being challenged. But I think the more they see these rounds, the more they're ready for the fast retakes.
And this seems quite simplistic in approach because he's maybe feeling this, and maybe not this time too far. All alone, no support, gets done for. And Meteor taking a glance over the top of the site, but there's a lot of bodies here. Sylvan's still here. We've still got a lot to clear here for EDG. But they fight as one. They fight together. Buzz does some work, but it's all still traded out in EDG's side. Where the hell is Stax? Question that they have not answered yet. Can Stax do the unthinkable? Not today. Chichu is there. EDG back in this series now. 7 rounds, starting to look stable.
It does seem like EDG's utility is hitting its mark. That's another round where they fight into backside C very successfully. Really, it looks a little bit ugly because Kang drops down early on, but then EDG wait. That first re-swing isn't a great look for T1, then pushing through the cage. Does very nicely for them. It's going to force T1 down onto a bad buy.
And look, as simplistic as it sounds, we have to look at the scoreboard too. The difference between map 1 and 2 here, Chichu and Kang both starting to, warm into this. Starting to just shoot back, right? It feels like it's been a little bit of an absence from that. But finding their footing now would be perfect. Oh. Yeah, that'll do it. That will absolutely do it. Still trying to be he's just untouchable. You just can't take him down. Slick moves, but it is a lighter purchase for T1, so we don't lose our minds just yet.
Yeah, Kang's doing some crazy flying business up in mid. Now EDG, they slow down, they wait, they know T1's going to start walking. That again, it feels like a very different team compared to map number 1. Maybe that's a difference of the maps, of the work they've done. Yet every time, even in these bad buys, like Izu, I feel like he's been in these spots where his whole team is dead and he's still finding like 2 kills every time. It's a bit silly.
It's nice to see this life in EDG though, right? It just feels like we're back in actually getting the game here. T1, I mean, I need them to reply as well. I do think it's easy to overestimate a little bit of what they did if you're looking at that Vitality result, because I'll be honest, Vitality didn't look good there. Clearly, they won't be happy with it either. They can watch that one back and tell you it themselves. But this is now EDG starting to stretch their legs in this series too, right? This is 8 rounds in their name, keeping T1 a mile away.
4 ults for EDG to work with. Early undercut, and Kongkong's up just doesn't pay off.
That's one of the 2 heavy hitters removed, making it a little bit trickier. Chichu dead as well. Buzz, a big game hunter it looks like right now, leaving Simon nobody on Smoggy to try and navigate this new threatening territory towards the A site.
And as soon as the Rolling Thunder comes out, it's a kill contract ready to just steal 1 player out of it. Dodge away from Meteor is nice.
Yeah, very nice. The timing on this is actually going to be pretty interesting. Okay, Meteor does manage to get Simon. The site's still under scrutiny. Buzz is just coming alive here. He's still got to do a lot more though. Oh, Buzz is going nuclear on the site. Oh, it's incredible from Buzz.
Buzz has just been otherworldly. The A site belongs to this man. T1 felt like all the momentum had been stolen away, but from start to finish in this round, Buzz was online.
Yeah, big game hunting. Look at him, the first 2 finding the top frag as Chichu, Kongkong gone, and then just says, I'll do it all myself.
No one's looking at him.
You can't keep your eyes off him. Not today. It gives him a lifeline. It's a small one, but it is a lifeline. We've got a little treat. A little bit of a treat for you folks at home. The one and only. Not for you.
Oh,
you are. No, you are from Americas. It's going to be Tarek. you don't want to miss it. We love hearing from him. Big fan. At least someone from Sentinels made it this far.
สวัสดีครับโอ้โห วันนี้เราก็มาอยู่กับแขกพิเศษจริงๆนะครับผม and ladies and gentlemen let's give an official round of applause for Tarek. Wow, amazing crowd, and it's such an honor to have you here with me. First things first, who are you supporting in Masters Bangkok?
It's a good question. Actually, I'm a big EDG stan, but I'm actually supporting T1 because I think Buzz and Stacks deserve a win. So T1 fighting.
โอ้นะครับสำหรับคำถามแรกอยากรู้ครับว่า Tarek เนี่ยซัพพอร์ตใครนะครับผมเขาบอกว่าจริงๆแล้วเนี่ยคือชอบ EDG นะแต่ว่าเพราะบัสกับแซกน่าจะควรได้ชัยชนะบ้างเลยคิดว่าอยากให้ T1 ชนะนะครับผมในวันนี้ส่วนคำถามต่อมาครับนี่เป็นครั้งแรกที่เขามาเยือนประเทศไทยนะครับเลยอยากรู้ว่าประเทศไทยเนี่ยเป็นยังไงบ้างนะครับ Next question, you just mentioned that this is the first time that you're in Thailand. I would love to know how is Thailand treating you so far?
Oh my God, Thailand is amazing. I haven't actually stepped out to this area of the crowd. You guys here are the best. Big shout out to everyone here. I love Thailand, and yeah, it's been awesome. A pleasure more than anything.
And it's also an honor for Thai people to have you here in our soil as well. Any last words to say before we go back to the game?
I'm gonna do it again. Go VALORANT!
Hey, go VALORANT! And that will be it for now. We'll bring you back to Haven.
Just a Valorante lover. What can you do? Just cheering for a good game.
Yeah,
what a guy.
You respect it.
Love that. 8-4 though, right? We focus back in on this.
Sure.
This has been a road to recovery for EDG in my mind. Correcting map 1 and looking a little bit better in this, and by actually quite a large margin. Kongkong way better in this one. Chichu way better. Simon showing up. We're starting to see those individuals. Now, 4 rounds for T1 is workable, but it's not easy.
Ooh, I like this setup from Kongkong. Oh wait, we're just dropping the and he's taking heads!
Spike down, C.
How did he get the second? How did he get the first?
It was like, it was a nice setup, and then he just decided he was gonna front 4 players on long.
It must be nice to be Kongkong, right? It must be nice. Even in your errors, you still look so good doing that. Izu, Buzz, and Sylvan, They're scratching their heads. What the hell just went on? Ah, he's yeah. This is not. Buzz is feeling very uncomfortable. Every angle feels threatening. He's down to what? 40 HP. Stalled out, looking for a chance here. They've got space on A, and Buzz, he's selling them hook, line, and sinker here.
Yeah, he's trying to do his best, but there's players enclosing him from every single direction. Good news, I suppose, for T1 is Spike is surely to end up getting planted here. Quick jump of the trip. But Izu's going to have to get active and start fighting forward, finding some kind of a pick if T1 are going to have a chance.
Surely not, right? Surely not.
I mean, those corners have been tough for EDG.
Don't mention. There's no way. They still got so much util.
Oh my lord.
No.
Okay, they're not coming in just yet. But they.
I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I can't allow this to happen. Why do I feel like it might happen? Izu. Yeah, okay, nice. Get cleared. That's fine. It's all fine. We make it through the round. EDG have 4 standing. Kong managed to get 2 magically. I don't understand it, but it's all good. EDG up to 9.
That's the thing, though. If you can rely on Kong to get 2 kills at the start of every round, you're winning every round.
True.
You know, like,
I look
what
at this.
Is that? Yeah.
This game works different.
Oh, so the first shot was actually a collapse. So it was a headshot and a double body.
So reasonable.
Yeah, makes sense.
Nice. There he is.
There he is. What that means for him is that's going to be an outlaw purchase in the second round.
They're really going to get like a 13-4, both sides here, on each other's maps as well. There's a potential for it. I don't know if T1's going to let that happen, but for now, going to be looking to flood towards this C side. We've got a plenty of player here as well. Chi-Chu, one of them. Going to be guarding towards backside, turns the flash as well, turns it as well as he could at least, but still going to get his man. T1, what are you doing? EDG, this is not the round that you let slip.
It's the inverse of the first half. And Outlaw alive in a 1v4, but Kong might just be better.
Oh, there's something about Kong right now. And Buzz is on 1 HP. And remember before how this happened. Buzz against Kong. And this time Buzz holds his nerve. He waits. Did he take a glance? Did he take a look? He does now. The shot comes in! 1 HP and a dream! Enough for T1 now. God almighty, this game.
All of a sudden, that hope that was lost just brought right back. I mean, it's a great flash. Catches 3 players.
I thought they were able to like get away from that a little bit, but man! And then look at Kong, right? It's like suddenly, oh, we've got 3 players, all good. Oh no, we don't. We've got 1, and he's 1 HP. Oof.
Good thing Buzz won that 1v1 at the end, because I think he sold his teammates out, jumping away at the teleport after getting flashed on up.
Why do I? Oh, Kong. He's going for it. Knives are out. Let's have a go. Going for the biff. Going for the fight too. Oh, he's right up behind him. Does he get a pixel out of place here? Our drone's coming, but he doesn't care. See me all you want. It's Izu to catch him. Deny this. Stacks gets out with his life. But the pressure's still coming, but look at the TP.
Yeah.
Buzz, he's right back behind them. T1 running it back from spawn.
He's on 1 HP again, getting a 3K.
Oh, Smoggy. They're not going to come towards this site now. They're like, no. We're going to take no risks. Let's get out of here. Let's go somewhere else. This game just feels like it's starting to get a little crazy already.
Yeah, I think Buzz had the TP prime to go back over towards C early on. Just snapped back in. Got super creative with the pinch. And this is what T1 are so cool at, right, with this comp. The different map rotations they can make, the combos of utility. They can be kind of anywhere at any point in it. Especially on an attacking side. EDG, when they start losing numbers, that is going to start creating gaps around them. If Chi-Chu ever falls or his util is broken, EDG are going to be very mindful, finding where potential lurks from T1 can be, where these TPs can wind up too.
Yeah, Smoggy looking to just keep what he has. That would be lovely, the best outcome possible. Now, let's kind of call it what it is. There's a lot of room for EDG to take their time here. Now, not, complete and utter and foot off the gas sort of situation, but they don't need to be in a massive hurry. It's all good.
Yeah, we saw the big mid walk that last round. I'd expect to see them go back to defaulting a little bit more towards A lobby control.
Crowd loves to stave. They can't get enough of it. But you're right. I feel like this could just be one of those like kind of like baits though, where it's like, yeah, the TV's ridiculous. How are you going to think about that? But I do feel like there's going to be a bit of bait, right? Because I think EDG will just kind of pull it together, get the ults going, all good, right? There's been a couple of crazy rounds that have been kind of tipped out of the normal fashion they fall from that round 14 onwards. I think they can recover this fine. They don't need to hurry it. They don't need to be desperate at it. Keep composed, keep cool. I'm worried if we see more of those sort of rounds though from Buzz, right? Starting to see him heat up, starting to find that X factor for himself.
And the fact that Buzz has the dimensional drift is going to be the biggest problem for EDG in this round. You know, T1 put down this early Cypher camera to clear out these A players tagged into. They see the jet, so this Yor is going to be fully faking over into the C side before snapping back into the team and re-clearing the other forward spots.
EDG are here though.
He didn't see Simon.
Oh my god, this could be devastating. Wait, it can still work out in his favor. How's he gone away with this? I don't get it. Buzz, almost on a platter, does go down, but he sees it all.
EDG do so well to just hold their ground during that play, not get fooled. But now T1, they've left Izu into short. The drone isn't going to spot him away, so while T1 create massive pressure onto the C site, get that spike onto the ground, Izu needs to act quickly and come in on that flank.
Yeah, because they still have to withstand the potential.
Oh no, they're coming back into him. Here are all the footsteps leave.
They're going for a little double pump on this one. All right.
And they're going to leave Meteor front B as well. This is nice macro.
It's a little bold, but I like it. Harder to retake this site than C for sure, in my mind. That nice insert towards B. Kung going on the flank, but they still have that util up. Time getting a little close here. Bond's going to be in. Now the time to activate for Meteor, and timing is everything. Flank on a flank, right? We've got Kung on one side, Meteor on the other. Oh, you got Smoggy turning around to a terrible surprise, seeing Meteor in the back lines, and now they got problems. They wanted a pinch on that. Izu trying to play it forward, but Chichu succeeds. Nice from Kung. There's the flank coming in. Stax is over towards Quad. This is a lot on their shoulders. Meteor needs to be up to the task. Stax, oh, a nice try, but EDG stand firm here.
EDG keeping composed even while T1 play a beautiful round over the map. Letting them know it at the end there too. It was kind of crazy how Buzz wasn't able to find a kill, and then he maybe was, and eventually ends up getting taken down into long. But I think Kung deciding to go for that late flank too, the fact that he finds the kill is everything for EDG.
One enemy remaining.
Watching that back, knife's edge stuff. By getting a little bit shoddy there, Izu going to be down to the Bulldog. We still have a couple of ults in play for T1. On the other side, nothing there yet, but some very close by. Starting things off, T1 trying to be subtle with their approach towards A, but a lot of commitment behind this.
Yeah, T1 can do some annoying things here with the Omen and the ISO ult. You can pluck someone off the site, then go for a deep Omen ult that could be unheard by the side anchor.
Oh, there's 4 players here. They've been able to stack this out. They want to have a brawl on it. Do T1 commit? They're giving it a go. Meteor is going to snatch Kung. That's a big 1v1 though. Whoa, and Kung does go down. Meteor back into the fray and back in towards the site. But EDG have bodies here. Simon not clean enough on that. And T1 show him how to get around.
Buzz with another 3K. A double duelist combo coming up in a big way. Meteor finds the first pick onto the jet. And Buzz shuts it down with the 3. Those execs can be so disruptive.
Do you think we get a timeout from EDG soon? Because you look at this, the succession of rounds, right? T1 is starting to find a little bit of something behind them here. I don't want to say that they're close enough by yet, but maybe you make it through this one, see how it feels, but I do start to keep a glance towards it, because EDG weren't in a massive hurry. They didn't have to be too worried, you know, after that half. Now they got to start keeping a little bit of a closer eye. Get a couple more of those, and now we're talking. Ooh, Izu, in a round like this, are we really going for that?
Oh,
hello. Peekaboo. Ooh, this is still pretty risky, but he does manage it. He's fine in the end. Gets away from the threat from nobody, but Kung still controlling. Still posturing and threatening. The Owl drone.
Eyes on
gonna
Garage
spot.
right now. Izu looking for a little step out. Actually, sorry, Chichu. Just getting pushed back.
Go at it. Going for this B plant here is risky. Stacks might die for it, and they already retake front site. Trying to disrupt the deeper lines is difficult, but it's certainly not impossible, and they have some numbers here. T1 making this hard work, but they're going to hold this down. They've got the ults to try and bank on. Already Stacks does get a tag. Does at least deny that first attempt here.
G trying to tap back on, but that pop flash is going to be brutal. Conco with 3, though.
It
Still
ain't
has
over.
chances in this round.
It ain't over. Util coming in. Pressure starting to happen here. Simon up against Izu. You got to check on this. You got to swing on this. He's got it. He had the info, and T1 have at least another go at things. Oh.
These rounds are just mental.
That was with like 2 sheriffs.
Yeah.
That was 2 sheriffs. And EDG are that threatening.
Good on Izu to close out the round there. We don't talk about it all the time, but this kid's flexibility is just absurd, right? Like, we saw him play the Fade to perfection on Bind. Now he switches over to Sentinel on the Cypher, right? Gets the wall hack, finishes the kill, but we haven't even seen him tap into the double duelist. That's where he really thrives.
That's true, but we also have the operator coming out for Kung Kung. So that is where my mind goes. Do they get to identify this early? Do they get to find out where it resides? T1 will need to do their due diligence here. Don't want to run into that late.
Seems like EDG want to do a bit of baiting on C. They're going to letting Smoggy take the first contact. While Kung Kung plays for that garage angle. A little bit more passive.
Chichu right there, though.
Look at all those pings, though. T1 knows something's up because they just droned A lobby and didn't see the jet.
But if they swing this corner...
Ult to scan
TP,
it. That's
there it is.
beautiful.
Hiya. Not sure how much info they got. A fair amount, but the ice turning was enough for Kung Kung. He's been in this position before, and he's succeeded. But they don't fancy it. They hear that up, and they scatter. Other side of the map. They had no idea. Now they know. Meteor reminding them of who he is. There's still a man here. Surely, surely. But Kung Kung is still here. It ain't over till he falls. The spike should be planted. Nobody is here early. The temptation, he wanted it! Stacks laughed in his face as Kung Kung called upon again. The man himself would need nothing less than an ace here, 2 already. We'd have to find the other 3. You can see him settling in, thinking about it. This sight, near on impossible. And step by step, shifting away. I think he knows this one is out of hand. I think he knows that operator is far too precious to try and tussle with this site.
Yeah, nobody went for that crazy drop because he knows his teammate has the op. It would have been the only chance to get back in the round, at least go 1 for 1. Maybe there's an option there if Kung Kung can pop the knives.
But I do like the fact that T1, as soon as they identified that operator, were out of there. They were having none of it. It's big respect for a right reason. You saw how good Kung Kung can be in these. He's played patient there. That operator is a prized possession because look at their money. It's rough here for EDG. We've got kind of like 1.8, like a 2K. Sheriffs and light shields, and that's it.
Since losing the pistol, he won
Oh,
5 out
God.
of the last 6 rounds. They've secured, they've slowed down the pace. They're dodging away from the Meteor activating on this crazy lurk up into Link. And now just 1 away from tying things up. It seems like they have the answers. They know that EDG, every time on these ecos, it's been these slow walks out of mid, so they're going quickly to spot it out.
There's bodies here, though. There's a lot of bodies here for EDG. Buzz, got to be careful now. Looking for some support here. The paranoia comes in, but it's a little bit too short. I think to find the connection. And Chichu backfilling the space. Beautiful from him, but outdone by the sheer weaponry. Kung Kung has got a curious position. If they go for this B plant for T1, the post plant gets very difficult to hold if he comes into play, but he's been noticeably absent so far with that saved operator.
The smoke refresh comes in, so they're going to take the opportunity to go for the plant. T1 might start walking into A Link. Thinking EDG are leaning heavy into C, but you look at what EDG are doing at the same time, going for the slow re-wrap.
these are both kind of indicators, right? That no one's kind of fallen back, that Kungkung's heard nothing. He's still going to be very diligent clearing towards window, but Smoggy does so well. Hold on, it's game on, and now EDG needs to pick up the pace, but Sylvan stunning with Izu. Kungkung has to come forward, or it's going to be 10 apiece here. Kungkung given nothing. They know it. If he wants it, you got to really go for it, but they're going to force him again. Leave him on this operator. He's still going to drag one down with him. But the round, nonetheless, is T1's, and the slow march back to an even scoreline begins.
It's got to be so frustrating for Kungkung. 2 rounds back-to-back, he's just not allowed to play. Just lost before he can find that impact. Chichu does some annoying ratting around the smoke. Smoggy finds the shot into Link. I mean, it's a nice round called, even on the low buy from EDG. They have not had a consistent answer in this half. Felt fairly readable. On the light buys, they're walking up every single time. On the strong buys, it's usually been a fight over A space, apart from the one round they showed the Jet on towards Plat, and even then, T1 were able to call away from it.
And it feels like I've just rolled back in time, right? It's like, okay, I see a Jet with an operator. It's not CNED anymore, but we're going to avoid him nonetheless, right? It's like, see that? We're going elsewhere. And I love the fact that T1 are respecting the impact that he's starting to have. I think that's a right call to make at 25 to 15. It's a much bigger performance, but EDG need to take back control of this game somehow. I mean, be it pressuring back, like they need something here. The Red Bull fan.
Don't know exactly what's going on there.
No. Oh.
Nice to keep it a little bit lighthearted here.
Yeah, 10-10. Everyone's just like sweating.
In the midst of a comeback. But truthfully, I mean, the weird thing is because Kungkung's had to keep saving this up, and he hasn't had the impact. T1's comp, we haven't even talked about, does very well against the operator.
Yeah.
ISO has the shield to block the first shot. Then his ultimate combined with your ultimate. They have perfect scouting to make it so hard to get consistent value. It's kind of a blessing and a curse that Kungkung's so effective with this gun because they've kept going into it, and T1's calling has just dodged it.
And they evade him again. The operator is now toward A. T1. We've seen them approach this. Kungkung standing his ground this time. Maybe this time he'll get his man. Takes down Stacks. Oh! Buzz doubling down. Where did he get that from? But Simon is still here. Enough to keep the sight. Waving the EDG banner until Izu barrels on up. Now Smoggy feeling surrounded. Rightly so, the counter down. They swing together. We saw it before. Chichu was a mile away.
Hold on, Chichu's got the spike.
Oh, he's got his ult too.
But now that gives up his position as well.
When you're 1v2, Chichu, you've got your chance. Can you keep your team in the lead, or is T1's comeback inevitable, Chichu? Oh, it was bold, but it falls apart. T1 taking the lead.
Just an unbelievable round out of Buzz. The fact that he's unfazed completely after this first kill goes down, he pushes forward, takes the timing, and they're lined up
just next to each other.
Nobody's got his util out. It's just brutal. And it's all because he went for the early teleport that closed the gap. He snuck into the right side of Stack. He's in a position that no one on EDG thought he could possibly be.
The money. Look at the money. Oh my god, EDG, you're gonna have to face this with a scrappy buy. You got Guardians, you got Stingers. Yeah, Simon's got the old Smoggy as well, but these aren't easy to lean on ultimates here. And patience from T1. They don't want to fall into any sort of trap. Already though, proactive down A long, but still taking their time this time.
It's nice from EDG though, because the other rounds they haven't shown that A stack. Now they try and show a little bit extra presence, but T1 realized it hasn't been the walk there, so the mid walk is expected. And Izu's there for the swing, not going to get fooled twice on that angle.
So Chichu gone. Your big players now are Smoggy and Kungkung really. The timing on this drone going to force Kungkung away.
He hears the drone, has to fall off the angle, and he's got no protection in Garage. With the Cypher out of the picture, no trips to hold his back. The hero rifle has to move forward.
And the hero standing tall this time has to slip away. T1 forcing back both fronts now. The walk down middle, the approach through C. They keep EDG in the dark.
I think EDG might be reading this though. Simon and nobody already on A site and calling in Smoggy too. Now Izu is taking the opportunity to pop the ultimate in front B. That's a great moment, 30 seconds left on the clock, but T1 are sort of locked into this A hit now. Actually, they're not. They're gonna back away and try and fake this hit while the spike makes it into C.
This is unbelievable. Meteor is keeping so many players, and he's still thriving. Outnumbered on the site. He's still standing. Just dropping body after body. T1 flawlessly making it to 12.
T1 just exec'd all 3 sites at the same time and won every single one of them. They're on an absolute tear, 6 rounds in a row, 8 of the last 9, reading every single move EDG are trying to take, and now 1 away from being up 2-0 versus the reigning champions.
Deep breaths now. We are watching something rather special here. 6 rounds in succession. T1 on the verge now of taking map 2. And EDG too stunned to speak.
I'm expecting a quick tempo shift from T1. Once they deal with this tripwire in garage, options to accelerate into C off the ultimates. Early canceled out, they see the players on the site, but Smoggy is here, Smoggy is waiting too! The EDG anchor, but T1 are not slowed down.
They needed someone, anyone to stand up, and Chichu's still here, but it's a little sloppy, but it's fine, he gets the job done. Wait, Stax and Izu in a 2v2, Simon's got ult, surely that's enough to tip the scales over, right? Maybe not, down to a 1v1, it could close right now, and look at the HP, 10 on one side, 30 on the other, and it's a clash around the back! T1, 13 to 10, looking bulletproof at the end there.
The thickest plot armor in the game, T1 are 1 map away from moving to the finals.
Nice! 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 유병철. Nice! Wow, that's a... Nice! 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 유병철!
Red Bull gives you wings.
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to
number 2 seed to make it to the top 4 at Masters Bangkok. The team that was rated 8th going into this event now has EDG on the road. I wouldn't go that far. By a lot of people, many people.
Fraudulent according to many people. Yes, yeah. He's on the money.
Hey, but you know what wasn't fraudulent? This incredible play from Buzz. That takes us to our Verizon high-speed moment, and of course, it's the Buzzman himself. And he ends up finding a nasty one here. Well, wait, is this the, no, okay, that was the one where he catches the shoulder.
That's how good he was, so you don't even remember which play.
I loved the one where he hit the shot, but ended up going transport to the gulag. That was another good one, too.
Yeah.
Some crazy moments in this game, Brand, for sure, but the fact that T1 dug deep to come back like this is huge.
And it was these rounds that made it possible, right? It gives you the breathing room and the buffer to potentially make that comeback happen, which they ended up completing. Buzz, on an individual level, he hasn't stepped back in terms of his form whatsoever. This guy's been on a heater, beginning to enter the tournament, and he doesn't seem to slow any signs of slowing down.
T1 have been so good because of their willingness to play to their strengths. And I think that this map is one of the best examples of that. When you have players, the quality of Buzz, the quality of Meteor, with the pedigree that those two guys have in Korean Valorant, and you put them on a map, on agents they're amazing at, they play with utmost confidence, they will deliver you rounds like this. But it's not just the individualism. This map, again, showcased how good T1 is at using their ultimates to support their teammates from across the map, at setting up little combos with the ISO utility. They are a team that, at the simplest form, is willing to just shoot you in the face, but there's that little bit extra behind the confidence that pushes them at that next level to be truly world class.
Yeah, T1 are certainly looking fantastic, but there you see that guy on your screen, Kong, who has been doing everything feasible to keep this EDG team in the game. And look at the change from Bind to Haven.
Bro, he was deadlifting. He was trying his hardest in that map. I'm not kidding. And genuinely, where they were going amiss wasn't in the firepower. I mean, yeah, him and Chichu were fantastic in terms of being able to trade off their teammates and playing off some of their util, having huge individual moments that we saw over and over and over again. But the thing that really slipped away from them was just that macro play. And Kang was left in so many scenarios where he was forced to try and play retake with an operator in a 1v3 because EDG were trying to force the issue too early. They were taking peeks when they didn't need to. They were dropping into sight when they didn't need to. Kang's doing the most, but he can't do it all. And I need the rest of EDG to step up to give us a more competitive game. You can't go out this tournament 3-0. You're the reigning world champions, man. You can't go out 3-0 at this point. I need to see them collect it up, be disciplined, and play together.
But if there was a map to come back for the world champs, it would be Fracture. They dominated G2 here. The only team to beat G2 this year with a 13-4 win. But they have a very tough task ahead of them because they're playing their Neon comp into T1's Vise, and Meteor has been so incredible on this defensive side. And Brent, I think of map 1 where EDG was just sending it on their exits and the T1 anchors were feasting.
Yeah, they certainly were. I mean, Meteor, the last time we played this map, I think against DRX, he was, just demonic. I think he dropped over 25 kills, but for EDG, they need that firepower, which we know they've already got, and they need confidence. They're going to be bringing it, pacey, tempo, it's going to be nice.
The question on everyone's mind is this how it ends for the world champions? A 3-0 in the lower bracket finals. Let's send it back over to Pansy and Ender.
Thank you, GB and the desk. I mean, I didn't expect to be considering this already. Coming into Fracture with T1, 2 maps in hand. This feels unbelievable. But surely for EDG, there is a chance here. Or do you think T1 just have too much behind them now?
T1 just seem like they've got everything going, right? Ever since reintroducing Sylvan into this team, they've been 6-1 this year with him in the roster, 1-3 without. It is just clicking, but EDG, they're 3-0 on this map of Fracture. They destroyed G2 on this map previously. If they are to get back into this series, it is going to start here. What looked like one of their stronger maps.
The fashion in which they approached that G2 game felt almost bullish in approach. They were so back in themselves, and rightly so, they trounced them. Is that confidence here today? Meteor has been marvelous, and we were complimenting them, especially in map 1. For T1 at least, would be able to divide and conquer against EDG. Izu again denies the push-up, turns the flash, he's back in the action. Where's the follow-up? No trade there. Sylvan a little slow on this, and EDG make the most of it. That's 4 alive. That's got to be a plant.
Deciding to go up onto the rope, go slip and sliding through spawn to close out the round. I mean, that's a little bit of the gusto you wanted to see out of EDG, right?
Yep.
The Sands take, the double swing from Chichu and Smoggy.
In my mind, though, if the spacing was a little bit better, if they traded a little bit more effectively, this old crunch coming through Sand gets a bit more deadly, but just a little bit of spacing in between gives EDG the chance to actually shut down these kills.
EDG had some cool ideas, though, right? Kong going up the rope and out onto Rafter, trying to look over the smoke. Not something you see every day. Got to be really creative on your entry pathing. On this map to abuse side anchors, T1 just going to face up 2 players, snag an orb. Credit to Sylvan to find the one.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts, but, you know, I guess he gets an orb either way, to an extent. But for now, this should be stability for EDG. And I feel like I've been saying that every round, and then, well, sorry, every time this round occurs, and then somehow T1 just, like, proved me wrong, which is fair enough. But as it stands, EDG have site control now on both fronts. They've got a plant down. They've got a good idea of what's coming their way.
Yeah, Buzz with a shorty shouldn't be able to do anything back there. It's really T1 just showing on the eco round, trying to orb max as much as possible, not giving away too much of their setup on a round like this. Could even just hold and try and play some exits. When you look at it, EDG have 3 rifles, so 2 kills here would be massive. 1 more, and T1 have done real damage.
They've got a Bulldog on Buzz now. And you are looking at damage, right? You're looking to min-max, right? We don't look at round wins. Relax, guys. I think we're good now. Stacks, can he keep him on site? Can he lock him in here? Drag him down with him. Take him down, sure. Stacks is making this cost a fortune. EDG will make it out of the run.
Oh, dear.
Damn. Okay, well, that's not the outcome they were hoping for. But at this point, I guess you'll take 2 rounds.
I mean, the rounds are good, but that stings, right? When everything's been going against you, just to get hit one more time on the way out. Not so good. But I think now's a good time to sort of look forward to the rest of this half, because T1, the way they play defense on Fracture is pretty interesting. You know, a lot of teams, they'll look for explosive plays right at the start. They'll sort of coin flip the round, sort of try and get a read on where you're going to be hitting early and go for an aggro piece. But T1 like to do a lot more mid-round aggression. Move into some trap plays after they've seen what you're giving them.
Kong looks singular in approach, doesn't he? Focused towards the goal, but he doesn't manage to connect towards where he wants to. Buzz is still very much alive and on top. Stacks already prized out Kong. The sport's here. T1 look it down. Chichu swept aside. T1, first one looking pretty secure on that.
I like the way Buzz was repositioning on top site there. Dodging away from the stun, taking those angles pretty cleanly.
I'm waiting to see the money find any stability, right? And it's just not. It feels very volatile for them. I've seen a couple of, like, you know, weaker weapons coming in here in all occasions.
Yeah, this next round's going to be make or break, especially for EDG. Down on relatively low money, both breaches. Just 1 off of the Rolling Thunder. So we're looking at Econ swing, we're looking at ult swing. Potentially 2 or more rounds riding on the result of this.
Buzz's curiosity peeking here a little. The Boombot reveal at least early presence towards A main.
Oh, so they see the A main presence, they hear the zip line being taken down onto the south side, but it's a great timing found on Kong. See, Izu was going for that walk because they got the comm of the zip line. That's a layered approach from EDG to open up a potential kill for Kong.
Yeah, that's huge. And you can see trying to keep an eye on this now is also Meteor. Doesn't like that that's available, and the ult going to be coming out on top. That's big, actually. Good info on this. There's a lot of players towards B. Do you dare carry on forwards? Going to get the upgrade at the very least. But do you then pivot back towards A?
Yeah, going to drop down the stun, start moving out of there.
So faint though, but again, you got to look at who who's still shouldering A. It's gonna be Buzz. Done for, deleted. That should be the red carpet rolled out. They don't know how much success. I mean, maybe they could read it off the back of the Cypher information that came through earlier. But yeah, the site's theirs.
Yeah, Meteor deciding to go on a flank, but he's stuck on a tripwire. Now EDG are aware of A main being a potential problem. They've got two players there ready to deal with Meteor.
This looks like a meticulous round, though, from EDG.
Yeah.
It's what the doctor ordered.
The late insurance of Chichu on drop as well is exactly what they want.
Yeah, flash to play in Meteor, though. Has a glance, Smoggy one side, two the other, isolates one. And I don't think he makes it out of this alive. They're trying, but no one can trade in. Yes, he can, actually. Stacks, I lied to you. He gives it a damn good go, but 3 more, surely not. I'm gonna back off for Stacks here.
The time's just no good.
There's just no time to play, and Chichu being where he was just such an unknown factor. But these rounds are close, but this pacing coming out from EDG feels much calmer, much, better considered here on the approaches so far. I liked what they did then, honestly. Yeah, a little bit off the back of Kung doing what he did, but it was the read of that contact in A main.
Exactly. Again, they pulled that rotator, that flank coming in, off of the audio of the zipline to make that pick even happen in the first place. And then because of clearing out A main on this hit into that side of the map, they hold on to the breach ult. So Rolling Thunder is going to be available if they need that, because T1, they're just going for the half buy here, carrying over what they can from the last. But this is what sort of builds a very solid half for EDG. This is kind of what happened against them back on Haven in the second half when T1 got all that momentum.
It cements those foundations, right? It gives you that nice bit to lean back to. Your big ult on Simon here. Kung already lovely towards Buzz, but he can't escape. T1 want to crunch it. They want to have a little bit of a biff themselves. And they pull the trigger on the ult here. That's wild. Stacks on the swing. Takes out Smoggy, but it's still a 3v3. And look at the weapons.
It's ugly. Izu was trying to find some kind of a rifle. Now calls in Sylvan, so it's a Sheriff and a Bucky. Right flush with the smoke.
I mean, a Bucky here ain't bad. But surely it doesn't get the reward it wants.
They know the door's stuck open. They know someone's here.
They've got to be heads on a swivel about this, but they can't really disrespect the cycle on the smoke, the util coming out, so they peel away.
They're well called round. Choosing to go 3 on a zipline. That's dangerous, to say the least, but Chichu had the camera. I think he cleared the north side. It's
observers ready. See if anyone's going to just, be on the side waiting. No one is there.
I think they go drop. Because they know A main had been taken. Now they clear, no one had pushed out from B.
30 seconds left.
Good news for Izu is he's not exposed to the actual drop angle. And with only 25 seconds left, there's options to stall away with the Teo util to force players out into their crosshairs, but they're going on a walk too early. They've lost the timing to try and kill the spike.
Okay, so Plant's gonna be there. They do get the upgrades though. Sylvan's got himself a Phantom. So they are back in this, but Redwell, nobody shouldering this. Is he alone? Doesn't matter apparently. Gonna find Sylvan. Nice! On the second. And the whole time, Meteor was pretty much disconnected from this fight, kind of waiting, wondering if it was going to be that B hit. It wasn't. The 3 from EDG, navigating these puzzling problems very well. Meteor gonna make something out of nothing here. He's ahead of it. Meteor, thank you, Simon. There we are, EDG. Make it out of there with 2 standing. And again, it's not the flashy rounds that we know EDG can have, but these well-navigated mid-rounds that are working for them.
It's composed, though, right? And I think that's what we needed to see from EDG. We know they can be flash, we know they can be explosive when they need to be. But after that, where it's a little bit messy, T1 getting a few kills even on the eco. To call it through, go north side, identify that weakness was good. Now those ultimates come into play, so T1 are back on a buy, but EDG have Rolling Thunder. Kung can dip into the ult. Smoggy too.
Nobody's only one away as well. Like, they are all getting real close to that kind of full hand of impact ults. But Chichu, damn, that is clean. Yeah, Buzz just gets his head ripped off.
That was the showstopper too. I mean, EDG are just full contact, killing T1.
And I said they weren't flashy, and I've told you, an absolute porcupine. Bloody hell, what on earth just happened? They just fully contacted 2 sites. Kung runs in and wins.
I feel like I'm doing a disservice to the EDG players, being like, oh yeah, they can use these ultimates to secure the round. No, they just need guns.
That was the most EDG round I've seen. Just walked up, battered 2 of them, and we're like, sick. Kung slide in. Yeah, can't wait to watch that one back. Good luck, T1. I don't know what's happened in between these maps, but someone's had a chat to EDG. They've turned up and they look pretty sharp by all accounts, right? For Simon, 1 HP. Stay on Simon for me. Is he LAN experience scanning round? Yeah, looking for
I mean, there's only so many places
players.
he can be at this point.
Right? I don't know if the crowd loves or hates a save,
Yeah,
but they
I'm
seem
not
thrilled
quite
by
sure.
it. They seem absolutely enamored with the idea. Oh, they love a save! Can't get enough.
Out easier there.
But yeah, I want to see this replay. Like, look at these fights. Sick.
Oh, and it's right on Buzz's
Sick.
jiggle, too.
I think Kung doing this is just... Yeah, this... Yeah, fair enough.
Fade away.
Yeah, fair play. That's 3 just belting shots. Oh, one was through smoke. Good. Good. There's the crowd loving the save again. 1 to 5 though. What are you meant to do if you're T1 here? Because this does feel like EDG have started the ball rolling well. And we've seen this before, but they found these in a multitude of ways. This hasn't just been that kind of one-off heavy hitter having form here. We've just seen 3 players basically pound for pound outdo people. But also the way they got to that 6th round was through a composed approach. They were playing the map well. It wasn't just heavily dependent on individual influence.
I think what T1 have shown now in a few of their rounds, especially on the ecos, but even in a couple of the buys, when EDG find a few openers and then the round resets, right? Because apart from the last round, EDG have slowed down the pace in the mid-round. T1 have started walking and trying to, you know, take advantage of some potential gaps. And I think EDG have dealt nicely with that. They've played a very grouped approach in these mid-rounds. And if I'm coming in here from T1, I'm thinking, okay, instead of committing to the flanks in the mid-round, let's commit to maybe some more limited re-clears or some heavier stacks, lean 1-3, 1-4 on sides of the map, because EDG have done a lot of re-hits.
I guess this also then does get brought into the bigger picture. It's quite early for this conversation, but we will start lightly looking at kind of map pool depth and best of 5, right? This is something where EDG historically have got a very good record, highlighted at the start of the day, and will echo throughout if it does become more and more relevant. But this would have to be a reverse sweep if we're going to have the conversation at 5-1 here in map 3. It is a long and hard road to walk for EDG, but they could certainly take some steps towards it here.
Meteor looking with the Marshall, and actually leaves Izu on the close angle. Good drone's gonna push them back off the side. And an ultimate now.
Oh, surprised they felt they needed it. I felt it was already lined up, but Kung gonna springboard in, and why not? Meteor deleted, Izu on the trade, but now he's in a bit of a predicament, just kept safe by the smoke. And okay, and Sylvan, oh, free gun, lovely, have a go on that. Ult comes in, this is all getting sloppy, it's all getting messy. It's down to Buzz and Sylvan, at least for T1, as EDG and all that chaos just looks so composed still. They plant their feet, find security, get themselves a plant.
Buzz once again goes over the tripwire, but he was hurt. Yeah, EDG full on holding him. Going up 6-1 now, and you think, okay, Rolling Thunder may be an overcommitment, but they've been sitting on 4 ults for a while, so I don't mind that just to guarantee the round. It also did end up pulling out the orbital strike from Sylvan. So not a bad round at all, especially with nobody catching a couple of those real nice kills.
Okay.
Brimstone thinks it's all right.
You're right. Simon burning that one ult to ensure a round outcome. Fair play.
Operator purchased Buzz. First time we're seeing the look from him. NT's fully spotted and stunned.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
Can he get out of there? Buzz barely alive but makes it away, bounding back towards the A side. But then as a catalyst, Kung just goes on forward, a little too wild, a little bit too far. And Buzz just in panic mode. Just punch the ult. How has he gone here?
Just on his own, walked into A main, out into sand. Meteor full clears him and takes him down. And EDG out of sorts in the round. They've seen 4 towards the A side, so they're going to speed up into B. But T1 with Meteor ultimate available on the retake should be everything they need to get back on the board.
That's a spike held back here. Can't even get the plant fast. Gonna try and
on the north side
yeah,
too.
you're spot on. There is a look to try and go through tower to try and get the cross, but the cross is it could be threatened. They know that operator could have been in play. Swing together, all good. Meteor just comes crashing back down to earth. slow lurk coming into play now as well. Layers upon layers here. Chichu trying to hold the line. Pressure towards CT. It's Smoggy waiting over towards that dice side too. Chichu's got a lot of eyes on him. He tries to fall away for a second, reset the tempo over T1. Starting to build back in, but Smoggy succeeds. Cuts off the approach from Dice, but already Sylvan ahead. But Chichu's reposition might just be heaven sent, but he's been hurt. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Oh my God, Chichu! Out of nowhere, the reposition perfect. The first felt fated, and the second unbelievable.
EDG had no business winning that round, but it's Chichu and the Red Bull clutch to carry it through. I mean, look, Buzz gets the classic kill. Nobody tried to take that timing, but then from getting that opener and then the reposition, T1's gonna be kicking themselves for the missed shot on Buzz for giving Chichu that window.
In fact, he pathed all the way around. EDG. Signs of life here, right? Heart starting to beat a little louder. 7-1. Gonna go down without a fight.
T1 have walked all the way up on nobody. This guy's way off sides. No one to help him out, so EDG have to speed up on the other.
I don't think Kung needs any encouragement, actually. He's flying through regardless. Stacks gonna get put to bed early. The main danger man would have been Meteor here. Buzz! Oh! 3 big kills! I was talking about Meteor, I'm sorry, Buzz. I wasn't familiar with what you could be doing here, but Kung's still alive. Buzz, have you got more for us? Kung forced to pop the ult under pressure. Looking to thrive, Buzz! He looks out of his mind right now, supported by Meteor, but what a round!
He's a headhunter! He's a trained assassin! Buzz just wills that round to T1.
How's he done this?
Just
Lovely.
watch it and appreciate the precision.
Oh, that's poetry. That is poetry. Oh. Christ. But that is a bright spot in a very dark map for T1. Their second round, it's the only one that they've really had that individual upswing on. Other than that, it has been the EDG show here on this side. And again, Kung looking like he's just been given a red flag to a bull. He is just running this map.
All the way up in towards heaven. T1 spot him out, anticipating it somewhat, but he's not abandoning the angle. Look at the confidence.
He just keeps fighting. Maybe this is that confidence builder, right? Just go in there, get in their faces, remind them who you are, but T1 putting up a fight now.
It's the spike. The spike is in spawn.
Okay, well, that might have been a little bit too far.
And Chichu's on 5 HP, so it all is on nobody. He's regrouped back into the B site, now into the spawn.
There's no way this gives him a window,
And
right?
T1 have given the spike up.
One enemy remaining.
Okay, just nobody. Needs a 1v3 here. Gets the spike, has 40 seconds. He's going to know where one of these two players is. Probably not the second, but he's going to hazard a guess that B's the best chance for him. We make up for what felt like a real fumble earlier in this one. Aren't going to come in nice and open.
About 5 different angles he could choose to hold at the end of this. Even outnumbered 1v2. This is by no means simple for T1.
Got a bit of util, but so does nobody. Good stall here for the plant. Gonna use that boombot to clear close. Gonna be going in a little blind to this. Nobody shouldering the angle, and they're gonna see him on the cross. That's huge from Buzz. That now puts Stacks in control of this, to keep control of the push through, to buy them time. They have to respect the util on the spike itself, and a 1v1 is not what you want to be giving. Stacks needs to do the dance, he does the damage. You're gonna get the defuse, but this is not how you give a window of chance, right? This is not how this opens up even an opportunity, right?
I mean, T1 are the momentum team.
Stop it! Oh, no. They've got 3 rounds, right? 2 back-to-back, though.
2 back-to-back, and you saw what happened once the floodgates opened in the second half of Haven.
No. Why am I feeling this like the calm before the storm? Quell my worries and frets, EDG. Come out of this. Oh, you've got sheriffs.
That's the problem, right? And okay, Simon's one off a Rolling Thunder. It's not impossible, but it's certainly improbable. Especially now that Buzz has the up back. He's had a very slow start to the map, but ever since...
Nice!
Oh, come on! I was just about to say, ever since he got the up, ever since that one Sheriff round, he's been lights out.
More of that. Keep it coming. This is knife's edge stuff for Meteor, though. He's got problems just about everywhere. Kong slipped the net. They have no idea he's this far ahead. And with Simon kind of doing that, it doesn't give away that there's a player this far up. Kong's off the leash right now. He's behind the wire. They're trying to stun out. Oh! Sylvan saves the day, though! Kong was played in perfectly, but he doesn't get his reward. And Sylvan's still staying alive, dodging around every piece of util. Meteor now digs in deeper. Izu in support. T1's starting to come together now. It's 4 rounds.
T1 navigated that site beautifully. Bright Sylvan, the last second, is able to save his teammate up into tower, and then the reposition to group and play off one another. They're now within a spitting distance. And almost missed it because he was trying to stall out main with the molly. No one thought that Kong could be up in sight already. And Pansy, this round is going to be explosive. We've got a showstopper for T1. We've got 3 ults for EDG. And EDG ready to attack into B.
EDG step by step. Getting closer now. Chi-Chu on the other side of the map.
Oh, that's a
Izu,
tell though.
yeah, that's a big amount of info as well.
Because nobody's has defaulted A lobby basically every single round trying to take that fight.
But again, they do have Simon's ult here. That could be brought into play. And they're just going on this one. This feels brazen, it feels bold, this feels mad. Is there any place to be safe? No. EDG storming the gates. Izu trying to play this back in, but lost in the smoke, as is Sylvan. This is madness, but T1 coming out on top here. 3v2. Suddenly, Brimstone ult comes flying in from above. Simon and Smoggy, they ain't got the plant yet. They got 47 seconds to figure this out.
They don't even have the site anymore. They've just gone ahead and left it, using their final smoke to try and threaten some kind of a walk-up. But pretty soon they're going to have to start running and make their way over into A. And the post-plant, it's not going to be so easy. Looks like Smoggy, if he can get the spike down, if Simon can toss that over to him, he'll have the ultimate, he'll have the molly. But they still can't just play off-site. They're going to have to fight T1.
Got the spike.
Trying to make that cross. No one there for the challenge. You're looking at
They're
Simon
planting for spawn
to slip CT. Having a fight on this. Trying to be the instigator, the difference maker. But this is a brutal angle to try and get more than one on. And Smoggy, he's gone away with the reposition, doesn't get spotted. Stacking up now. They want to fight, they want to ball, they want to force their hand. Simon gets one, but one is not enough. T1's closing the gap on the scoreboard. I am petrified. That one round might have given just enough hope to T1.
T1 found something special towards the close of this half. You can feel it in the air, they can taste it. Just 8 more rounds separating them from the grand final.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Had it with your old phone? We've got you. At Verizon, trade in any old phone for iPhone 16 Pro on us, on any plan. And get iPad and Apple Watch Series 10, all 3 on us. That's up to $2,000 in value, only on Verizon.
7 now. The scoreline becomes imperative. There's hope among this T1 side after a rather daunting start here. EDG came out swinging, Ender. They looked great in those first early couple of rounds, fantastic. But then the gap closed.
Yeah, they were so active, so confident, until T1 started just playing these side holds instead of throwing it away all on the flanks. It all really started once Buzz got the Sheriff in hand. He stole the round, he had that eco with the 4K, 4 headshots. But EDG can still equalize. They still come in with the advantage.
Absolutely.
This is still favored territory for them.
EDG now, pressure. Starting to mount. It starts with a pistol. This could easily close up that scoreline, take it away. Really stark contrasts as rewards for winning this.
Nobody is all on his own. This is such a hard spot to play. Do you jump up? Do you get into smoke? He's looking for timing.
Yeah, feeling like he wants to be influential or maybe just wants to stay alive more than anything. This is now, ooh, a shot for Kung Kung. Isolating Buzz. The plant is in.
Their opening door, they're trying to put some pressure into main, but Izu has played so far away. He's going to be such a big problem.
Yeah, Izu down the line could be an issue, but
no.
Smoggy aware. Lovely from him. Heads up one. Sylvan fights out towards. Oh, Meteor! Relax now, Smoggy. Gonna keep advantage to EDG with the defuse coming in on the second half.
Wild that it comes down to a 1v1 again. But EDG finally breaking up that string of rounds that T1 had found for themselves. Kung Kung finding the opener too.
Yeah, it felt like a necessary breath here, right? Like a little bit of a breath of fresh air. The fact that Smoggy caught out Izu felt huge to me, because that could have been such a big impact player to come in late. A little bit of util still in play. I mean, Meteor and Sylvan tried to make a damn good go of it. Got real close. You can see it. Real close, but a solid step for EDG. Up to 8. And you can see that there's no hurry for T1 to try and over-invest here. Just going to be that Sheriff on Meteor.
We'll see if EDG can keep shutting Buzz out of these rounds. Apart from the Sheriff, he's been fairly low impact compared to his usual self. But as I say it, are they going to steal away another eco?
You don't do this. You don't do this. There's no way that you get away with it again, right? We've got the 2 Bulldogs. We've got SMGs. We've got util. EDG now, level in numbers as well. Izu going to be forced back. They're trying to find their fight towards Arcade, but nobody does really well here. Now it feels likely they're up towards the tower side. Kung Kung wants to take the space. He's having a go at it. And yeah, he's going to get his marked man. EDG weather the storm. It got a little dicey. But they deliver and get up to 9.
Great util on that tower re-clear. First the initial stall, then the flash. Scaling off it nicely too. And sure, even when things get a little bit difficult, nobody's going to be there as some blade insurance. But I think the Buzz thing might be real. Again, half his kills just came from the single round with the Sheriff. Kung Kung's had his number in a few of these. Now on the defensive side, facing up to take these early fights. T1 geared up for a split over into the B site. See how quickly they end up taking this. Seems to be fast.
Yeah, it looks pacey, doesn't it? I mean, they could always shift gear, but now they want to go, especially with Buzz doing this, right? This is quick. Chichu, life on the line, but he's managing to make it out of the maelstrom pretty much alive until then. Buzz, big, back-to-back damage, takes site, takes control. T1 there. That's a quick plant. They are instantly on the back foot now.
EDG showing 3 players coming in on the flank. Looks like Simon got cut off by the wall too, so they have to slow down, take their time. And T1 have completely shrunk away from this.
It is still just the bonus here for EDG, right? But you don't want to see 5 against you. 5 walking out with all that cash, all those prizes. And Sylvan might be the one to stop it before it starts. Big flank, big timing. And a whole lot of players to do some big damage to. Nice between him and Buzz. Now can close? Not this time. No more weapons to be taken away. 4. Make it out of that round for T1.
Such a clean anti-bonus there. T1 in a great position to play this next round. Keep things competitive, keep things close. And we're still a little ways away on the ults.
Okay, I like what we've seen there, at least from T1 to show that they have that gear to go to, that pacey look coming in. Kung now, ult is ready for him. Is that something they want to be leaning towards early in this game? Stamp that authority on there. He looked almost over-aggressive to an extent, right? Really trying to stamp his authority on that first half.
Yeah, the idea here was a quick refight if it was going to be another split off a breach stun in Kong Arcade, but now they can quickly rotate over. Drone's going to spot the one player, but EDG aren't going to be fooled at all. They are ready to stop this hit in its tracks.
Ooh. Did Buzz hear that, though? We talk about land sound. That little drop. Affordable, but now a little uncomfortable. Buzz gonna still just go in for it. Oh, he's hunting him down! He lets one slip, they don't know about it! Buzz still going, still trying to find his man! He's lost him in the smoke! He's lost him in this complete madness! It was Izu in the end to come out of the bloodbath alive.
Just insanity! I thought Buzz's entry pathing was perfection there. Going into the smoke for the first kill, then turning around to help his teammates. Hearing all those rotates coming in. You'll see his POV here, right? This kill then turning around, because you know that the defender's going to be flooding back in from those sight smokes.
Oh, that was sheer pandemonium, though. Like, look at the amount of bodies that died on that site. These 2 rounds. Of course, just enough worry, just enough, that they want to slow things down for EDG. They have a buffer still. We're at 7 to 9. But when we talk about pressure, I know the desk did as well at the start of the day, we never really put Team EDG as someone to feel that pressure. They always thrived in it. Actually, if anything, got better in it. Now we've got a real challenger in the form of T1 here, who seem unfazed by all of EDG's past accolades. And they are getting close on this scoreboard.
It's sort of wild, right? T1 coming in with some of the lowest expectations of the tournament as Pacific's #2 team, right? Losing that first match against Vitality, you discount them almost instantly. Like, what are they doing switching around their roster? Like, it doesn't make sense. Play with the guy you stuck in first. Everyone looking foolish after what Sylvan and his team have been able to do since then. 6-1 this year with him in the roster. And in this combination of old and new, right? Buzz and Stax have been together since the Vision Strikers days, rejoining now with Izu and Sylvan, the younger players. Moments like this, still managing to step up. It's nothing short of impressive.
You look at the bite for EDG, you've got to feel like this could be an 8th. Now, they still have some ults here, though, that could change things. Smoggy gets a killer. You've suddenly got the orbital strike as well. A lot could be had here. T1 as well, walking into 4 players.
Hong Kong's hero rifle is up in Arcade. And it's a little difficult for T1 to exec into this B side without any pressure on the north side. So either move back into A or re-clear underpass, you'd imagine, unless you're willing to commit the Rolling Thunder to it.
T1 backing from this. A little bit worried that they're walking into a bit of the unknown towards Ace. We do have this push up from nobody, but it is just a Sheriff. So Meteor's going to win that one.
It's too readable. Nobody does this all the time. T1's prep is there. They're unfazed by it. Light buy rounds have not been working for EDG.
Simon, nice play from him. Dealt with by Buzz, but I like the idea. Had to make a quick play, but still, this is 4 standing and a plant now on their side. Kung is en route through by Dish, I guess, but that's what they did need. Smoggy now has ult. Suddenly, the site's completely clear.
Just about everyone's got ult. Kong could chuck the rifle over to Chichu and pop the laser hands if he wants to.
They are playing so far off site here. Look how deep T1 are sitting. They are banking on Stax to be their backbone here. Kung, he's going for it. He's absolutely going for it. They've been taken off the defuse for now.
It's already
forced forward. They have to get back. The volley. You're gonna have the util. Oh! The volley. You're gonna have the util. Oh!
He just gets it like that. T1 throw 2 ultimates into the post plant, combo the utility, and just by a sliver, EDG are able to full stick it through.
God, that was close. The util, as you said, a fraction of a second earlier could have been the difference on this. Error was getting half, and here it is on completion. Blooming heck. Close as you like. What a Red Bull clutch for him, though. He'll be over the moon with that, keeping EDG now up to 10, spurring them on forward, but there's a fight! Izu slicing through them, Smoggy and Kung left in tatters. And now the site looks vulnerable.
Nobody is sped up on the flank, broke the wall, and now is going on the zip line to approach from the north side. So EDG have to slow down the retake. They can't be flooding out here. They need to wait for nobody.
But have the patience, the discipline to wait. Izu's position might be a checkmate on nobody, though.
It's been so good today.
I mean, he started this one off. Might be the one to pretty much... He's at least going to identify where nobody is. It does force the hand now of the other two to start working forward. Peekaboo brings the surprise. Izu just holding the space. Stacks and Sylvan shut down the account. He was down by a fraction before. This time, 4 players standing for T1.
I just can't believe the work Izu is able to do consistently.
They're 2 rounds away.
On every possible agent. Dude, we haven't seen him play the duelist today. He's still putting up numbers. He's still having rounds like this.
We are 2 rounds away from all even. I'm going to tell you about the money. If you can't see it yet, you'll see it now. It ain't good for EDG. We're down to Sheriffs. We're on Classics.
Let's have some fun.
This is looking like maybe 9, and then we're 1 away. This game could close up here. But T1 still need to stick true to this so far. EDG dangerous as ever. Have a look at Kung already out and about. Taking his walk, stretching the legs. They have a read, but they certainly don't have the side control now.
It's just every round, EDG going for these flanks. Nobody always pushing out from the south side. The ultimate's being thrown in. EDG are going to get the kill, play the 4v5, but they've only got 3 sheriffs to their name.
They are actually scrapping for this one. They are actively trying to fight on this with very, very little to their name. Nobody has so many players in front of him. He doesn't get the shot he wants. Nice in the end, but outgunned, outnumbered. T1 trying to come together, but EDG from nothing, making mountains out of molehills. A Meteor about to be outdone. EDG! The odds against them, and it doesn't matter. 11 rounds.
You've got to just love watching EDG play. I mean, you are at risk of getting 3-0'd, and you're tossing the ultimates into a round 5v5 with absolutely nothing. A full-on MasterCard thrifty for them, and it works. The combination of the stun and the Brim ultimate from the heavens, and a couple of nice shots is what they needed.
The fact they can dig that deep is unbelievable. Felt that might have been a bit of a slam dunk almost. Teed up for T1. Not to be, ever to be underestimated, EDG, no matter the money. Ooh.
That's a showstopper unlocked for
Yeah,
Buzz.
it is.
He can come flying out from drop. EDG have called this, though. No one's on the site. There's 3 players flanking on the north side, and they can potentially speed this one up. Nobody's home. This rocket surely doesn't find anyone. Chichu needs to get out of spawn.
Yeah, all good.
But already T1, they're trying to re-clear their south side. They know EDG have to be pushing, and it's Meteor to find the first.
Kung! He's left in bits. Beaten and bruised. He can't make it through the thorns. Meteor holds his ground. They are pouring everything again into this one. Chichu, Simon, nobody. There's not much more you can do. Meteor is just out of this world right now in this round. Chichu and nobody trying to pry these final players out of these positions, but they're well set up. To be able to divide them now would be spectacular. And it doesn't look like it's to be. Chichu fighting tooth and nail, giving everything he has. But he has no bullets, he barely has any HP, and he's certainly running damn low on time. T1 taking another step back here at 9-11.
What's the money gonna look like for EDG? It wasn't pretty going into that, and again, they're just gonna have 2 rifles.
God, they're pouring on, barely.
The way Meteor is consistently able to find rounds like this, so good.
look at what they've got. It's a Bulldog, a Vandal.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it is. They made it work with less before. How do they paint this masterpiece now?
It might be with a Rolling Thunder. They committed an ult last eco, and they won with it.
They find, yeah, okay, so they spotted Kung Kung. That's the rifle. Gonna be now etched into their minds, but they pick up the pace. Smoggy goes unchecked. There's still a threat here. There's still a big chance here. Good trade, though. Stack's gonna keep it at least on even footing, but Smoggy still in the smoke. T1 this time, isolating the players, and Smoggy not able to make much of that position in the end, as T1 barrel closer. 10 rounds now. Nearly in touching distance to EDG. On 11. They've got a buy in hand here, though, EDG. If there was a round to make it matter, to make it count, it would be now.
I just want to know if EDG are going to change the playbook. They have just done so many of these flanks trying to blow open the rounds. But I think T1 have dealt with it so nicely. They've identified this tendency of EDG's. They're clearing out their flanks, and yeah, EDG are getting some rounds here and there, but it's not like T1 are shocked by the things EDG are doing.
Oh, nobody. What a start. I mean, it feels like he's prayed for that one and someone answered that time. But Buzz, quick to business. Straight up towards tower here.
This is awkward. No control coming in from the south side. So Buzz is moving forward on the warpath. Nobody's still ratting it out on center side, but T1 are knocking down the EDG members.
Spot on, but there's the ult here. I told you it doesn't matter the numbers, it doesn't matter the odds, they're still gonna fight for this. Kung showing you why. Takes away Sylvan, now brings it back to a 2v2, but the spike is down. The time is ticking. Can they find these two players? Stacks. The icon on the side. The young gun of Izu beside him. And now it's all about timing. Izu's trying to stall them out. Buy time! And he takes away Kung's head, leaving Simon in a world of trouble. A 1v2 that he can't find, surely. Tries to make it count here, but he's lost track of Stacks. And Stacks, the man with the plan, brings us back to 11 apiece. T1 having their wishes answered here. And EDG running low on time now.
2 more rounds for Stack and Buzz. This is their 10th international, their 10th global event they have attended. They have never made it to the final. The best they had back in 2022. Champions, top 3. They faltered then. But it doesn't seem like anything can stop this duo now. They're no longer in a Vision Strikers uniform. They're not in a DRX jersey, but in T1, representing Korea, representing Pacific. Now just 2 more to take out China and face down G2.
Breathe it in. Take it in these moments. 11 apiece. EDG scrappy throughout. Can't say they haven't been. The first 2 maps, take it or leave it. This one, they fought. They've been close, but close doesn't get close enough against T1 right now. The string of rounds they've gone on, it's 3 consecutive here. And the buy coming back in for EDG is not pretty. They've been suffering from that lower end of the money, suffering throughout this game. Kung invested his ult into that last round. He ain't got that now. This could be 12 for T1.
The consistent question for EDG when they start faltering is who will step up? Who will be the hero for this team? We have seen this event, it beat Chichu so consistently. We've seen Kung at Champions throughout EDG's history be the guy. Nobody too, always willing to face up and take a 1v1. But now you just need someone to step up in the heat of the moment. This round, eyes on Kong with the hero rifle.
The icon for the side, Kung as well, right? The guy who put them on the map to an extent. Now needs to stand tall. T1, head first here, looks like. It looks explosive, it looks direct. Smoggy somehow needs to find something. He can't find a thing. Meteor, Buzz, coming together in unison, sweeping the site. Nobody, irrelevant to outcome. They could finish this with a flourish and make it up to 12 with 5 standing. EDG might have just watched this map slip through their fingertips. And nobody's position revealed. And it's a formality, surely.
In back-to-back maps now, T1 have run the gauntlet in the second half. Pushed it to the finish. EDG, they only have one more chance left after this.
Can't believe it. It's a save. It is gonna be a save. It's the smart choice. It's the right choice. But it leaves you with a heavy heart here. EDG tantalizingly close, but the team to make it to 12 is T1 taking the advantage here. And now 1 round away from the grand finals.
EDG may have been the favorites coming into this series today, but in the definitive round we're heading into, it is T1 riding the momentum of this slaughterhouse of a round 23. It is T1 stepping in with 3 of the best ults in the game against an EDG with barely anything. They will have to dig deeper than they've ever had to before to steal this round back to push OT, and even then it's not over.
Now the calm before the storm. The moments before the mayhem.
Than they've ever had to before to steal this round back to push OT, and even then it's not over.
Now the calm before the storm. The moments before the mayhem. Buzz! The first to draw blood, but Smoggy still stands. Does he get to live? He does. He makes it out of the Inferno alive.
And with the north side destroyed, now EDG stepping into main.
But
Stacks takes him down.
Nice try, but they're holding on here. EDG resilient to the end. Sylvan left in a 1v3. This man's been good. Probably one of the most intellectual players we have seen. This time, he's up against an EDG who are protecting that spike like it is their most prized possession.
He wasn't even on the starting 5 roster heading into this event. Could he send them to the finals?
Oh, EDG, Smoggy, so calm under such pressure. 12 apiece. We go OT!
Couldn't ask for it any better. Just when you think EDG are down and beaten, they get right back up. And Smoggy, no less. I mean, you could say anyone else's name on this team to step up in a moment like that. The fact that it's Smoggy trading out his duelist when Kung Kung falls, taking those 3 kills, repositioning, holding firm in the post.
What they needed. It's a lifeline. A 12 apiece. That 14th round now is the goal. It's the aim. We go again.
And now you don't have to worry about those silly ultimates. Just good old honest Valorant. And that's where EDG thrive.
EDG's turn on the attacking side here.
EDG, remember that Buzz was posting up an op on drop a lot.
That's so crisp though. Kind of playing that almost off angle, aggressively shouldering in.
They thought they could get a walk in there. I love this angle from Buzz.
Buzz, this feels a little bit new. I don't think we've seen him do this too often, no. And almost brought it down like a guillotine, but Chichu survives. Nobody now thrives, and they take towards the B site. Surely a plant on the cards here. I don't think much can deny that. We've got a flank far away.
Yeah, and a trip line. That's gonna spot out Stacks. EDG won't be fooled in this post plant.
That's the man that you need here. Izu? Yeah. No silly ults you were saying earlier. Simon's got one for himself. He's got full utility. Nobody as well has util to play with. This would need a miracle for Izu. And time is not on his side anymore. For EDG, a necessary break from what was an arduous second half. Clawing back in. Game on, and it looks like this round over. Izu sprung in the air. EDG striking first in OT.
First time we've seen EDG on a map point all day.
It's crazy. That is crazy.
But it's in these moments when masters are made, when champions are born. EDG have been at the heights before. Now with advantage. Heading into the 26th round, Kong Kong's decided to go for a glass up. Seems like a timeout's going to be called from T1. Find an answer here. But honestly, this defensive side has been EDG's weakness. They only won 3 rifle rounds, 3 rounds even, after the opening pistol in round 2. But I don't think we ever saw the op look out of Kong Kong. That could be a new wrinkle.
Certainly could. And leading this conversation was actually Stax there. A little bit of input from the coaching staff, but Stax the one to kind of have a chat with the boys, it seems like. We're trying to pick them up here, get them locked in, get them focused on trying to either bring this back to a double OT, try and prepare for whatever EDG's got in store with them.
Hey, it makes sense. He's been around from the beginning.
Yeah.
Synonymous with the early days of Valorant.
It's true.
But has never been able to reach that final peak. Ever since Vision Strikers went to the global stage, right? It just wasn't the same story for that team, for Stax, or for Buzz. This is about delivering on that fantasy for so many events.
Spot on. I am seeing Kong Kong switch off that glass cannon there. The operator gone, switched out for the Vandal.
Oh, Pansy, they are 5 players on the B site right now.
Oh my god. Well, I think we're about to have a 5v5 on B pretty much. Izu! There's nowhere to get up. What's he alive? Oh, he's not alive anymore! Kong Kong puts him in their grave and reminds them who he is. Sends them scattering. Meteor trying to dig in deeper. Kong Kong, he's not letting you escape. EDG, still alive!
The crowd in here is electric. EDG have entered the building. EDG are here to play.
안녕하세요. T1 스택스입니다. 그리고 이제 저희 팀원들이 오늘 바이탈리티에서 경기 보여줬던 게 제 입장에서는 진짜 말도 안 되는 걸 수행해줬다고 생각을 하거든요. 제가 콜을 내리긴 했지만 거기에 맞는 플레이 전혀 주눅들지 않고 그냥 자기 소신 있게 꿋꿋이 하는 모습과 퍼포먼스를 그만큼 낸다는 거에 일단은 너무 쉽게 게임이 굴러갔고요. 네, 그래서 너무 자랑스럽고 우승하지 못하더라도 저는 저희 팀이 얻을 게 많다고 생각을 해서 네, 자랑스러울 것 같습니다. 그냥 제가 이런 적이 몇 번 있긴 했는데 유독 어제만 조금 심하게 조금 게임 생각을 더 많이 했던 것 같아요. 내가 왜 이렇게 했을까? 그냥 조금 뭔가 조금 분위기에 휩쓸려가는 느낌으로 제가 콜을 많이 내렸었거든요. 근데 그거를 이제 끝나고 이제 저희 선수들과도 얘기해봤을 때도 선수들도 다 이해를 했고 근데 저희가 조금 뭔가 이슈도 있긴 했지만 그걸로 이제 잘 풀어나갈 수 있었는데 제가 그것만 했었더라면 달라졌지 않았을까라고 좀 자책을 많이 했던 것 같고요.
This is unread. Hicks gets knocked out. Buzz able to find one media play forward into the smoke. Span across the Buzz is next. Will come down for.
저희가 어제 EDG한테 비록 졌지만 충분히 그것도 이길 수 있는 경기라고 생각을 하고 그리고 저희가 졌을 때도 그렇게 기분이 나쁘진 않았거든요. 다른 이슈가 있기 때문에. 제가 엄청 좋아하는 선수들도 있고 제가 엄청 좋아하는 팀이지만 근데 스크림과는 전혀 다르다는 걸 저는 일단은 대회하면서 느끼기도 했고 그리고 이제 저도 이제 EDG를 만났고 이제 저희가 다시 한번 만나서 붓을 차릴 것 같습니다.
It could possibly end in a 3-0, but EDG says not today, and they managed to force that game 4, and it almost got a little bit hairy for a minute there. Goes to OT, and somehow, some way, the Chinese #1 team, the world champs, managed to stay alive in this lower bracket final. What a game we witnessed, folks. Welcome back, GB, along with Brandon, Mimi. Here you can see Kong feeling the energy in that moment there, but Mimi, I mean, this was exactly what EDG needed, but it could have gone bad very quickly.
It absolutely could have. There was a real chance of a T1 comeback there towards the end, pushing things to overtime with a really nicely constructed attacking side. But for me, the biggest thing about EDG playing this comp is this is where they get to be at their most proactive, locking Kong onto the Neon. They have so many set plays, and that's what ends things out for them in that overtime.
Yeah, it's a little bit too much for T1 to overcome there, but honestly, the way that went backwards and forwards as well in terms of them just opting into the fight, I thought T1 had pretty good adaptations as well. They were making sure to try and refight when they were going into these side hits because they knew that the flood defend was incoming, but they kind of, as it got later, they were baiting it out a little bit more. EDG were getting punished for it, but it was just on a knife's edge the entire way. But EDG, they do stay alive in a tournament. They do keep their best of 5 dreams going, and they do keep the grand final dreams going too.
And 2 big reasons for that is Kong and Chi-Chu. Now, if you remember in Haven, we were talking about how good they were, but yet they couldn't get EDG over the finish line. This time around, we wanted to see the supporting staff step up. They did so, but of course, Mimi, you had Kong and Chi-Chu doing what they do best.
Yeah, this comp requires both of these players to step up big time. In these situations where Kong is being asked to send it in, following up the Breach Teo utility, he was struggling in the game against Vitality. He was dying first a ton, but in this one, he absolutely stepped up. And when things went wrong, Brandon was Chi-Chu saving them so many times in these late round clutch situations.
Yeah, both him and Kang, I think they had so many pivotal kills in moments like this. I remember just the rounds we were just looking at, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're on a knife's edge, whether or not Kang gets a kill in tunnel, whether or not they're able to find this. And this was the finish here, going for an arcade fight when they've been conditioning really against that. I think there weren't too many instances at all where they were doing a heavy fighting in that instance. So just hitting T1 with heavy punches, making sure they could not get back up again to get that win, sealing it up into OT, bringing us to that 4th map of Split.
Lotus against Vitality. Map 1 here, Bind against T1. It was an EDG that were just slamming their head against the wall in the executes. But on this map, they showed EDG at their best, where they have some of those fast rounds, where sometimes they're sending it with Kong's Neon, but they're also showing us a lot of these slower rounds, how they can work the map, bait out the aggression for T1, and that kind of varied calling is what you really need to see for EDG, controlling the pace, changing it up in a match this important to them.
Yeah.
I will say, though, something that really sticks out to me is the fact that for EDG, the way that they're winning, it's coming down to the wire. It's coming down to these very high-pressure situations where you got to have those hero moments. And granted, that OT, they look quite dominant, but when we got to that point, it was looking a little shaky for sure. So I think EDG, not out of the fire quite yet.
No, but there is one thing that I'm really looking forward to, and I think that they've showcased so far, at least at the beginning of that, is that they have the confidence to take these fights and win them now as well. I mean, granted, T1 are offering them at the beginning of Fracture a lot of opportunities to take these fights, and nice and easy, but it's the fact that EDG are taking them and now winning them and getting confidence behind them. That's the difference maker to me, because they know that they can do it. They know that they can win best of 5s. They've been doing it all bloody year, for the past 2 years, in fact. I mean, their record since partnerships began is 14-0 in best of 5s. So they know what it takes to win. They've been in sticky spots before, and I think as long as they get that confidence together, the more it's going to start settling into the back of these T1 players' minds about the despair. Wait a minute, hold on, we were playing with house money. The pressure was supposed to be off of us. But wait a second, we need that last map to close out.
Yes.
And that's often the hardest one to do.
Reverse sweeps are rare, but if there was a team to do it, I think you'd have to give the nod to EDG.
Yeah, that's the... Oh boy, when you put it like that, and when you put it with the reverse sweeps, it definitely puts the context in a very interesting conversation. We'll see, of course, how it plays out. But do want to let everyone know as well that tomorrow is actually a pretty awesome reveal that is going to be going down, because Valorant's new agent, a duelist, is going to be making their way out. Yeah, that's right. So make sure you tune in for the show match between Team International and Team Thailand at 5 p.m. local time. And of course, that will be followed by our grand final between G2 and the winner of T1 versus EDG. Don't forget, new agent reveal tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot of chats with that. But let's continue the conversation here while we have time. And also want to let everyone know as well that, you know, because we're going into maps 3 and 4, is a little bit of an extended break for the players, because, you know, you boys have been up there for a hot minute. So they need a little bit of a break, if you know what I'm saying. So let's continue this convo here and really discuss how EDG are starting to wake up on a lot of these key moments here.
A big thing for them on Fracture in both their earlier match on this map where they decimated G2 and this one today were the retakes. When they're playing this Neon comp, they do a really good job of taking proactive timings to get out of smokes as their opponent is sending in an execute, and quickly overwhelming with the fast pace this Neon gives, combined with the excellent supportive utility from Simon and Nobody. And Brent, something you were critical of from EDG those first two maps, which I agreed with, was that at times Simon's supportive utility felt a little missing, especially on binds. But that was a big turnaround here. I think the team play, the initiator play looked way better for EDG, and it won them a lot of these retakes.
Yeah, absolutely did as well. Empowering Kang Kang is going to be one of your primary win conditions, I think, as you go even deeper as well, heading into Split, because they play comps where, you know, it's not just two duelists that can, maybe Kang Kang can play off of it. There's somebody else just kind of initiating for him and taking the point of contact. He has to be the tip of the spear, but you kind of need to set him up to succeed in that capacity, because the way that they play those comps on Split, unless they change it up, he's going to be playing the Jet as well. And we've seen him do just absolutely disgusting things on that role. But again, it's... For me, EDG are at their best when they're forcing you to play at their tempo. Yes. And that's what they did wonderfully on Fracture. That's why they love this Neon comp so much. And T1 were struggling to keep up, but it was on a knife's edge. But I have to harken back, I think, to the point that I really think is important here, is that EDG, they have that cold mentality that knows, they themselves know that they can win any best of 5. Yeah. They know that there's no back against the wall. It's do or die for them. And they've been in spots similar to this before. That is a very, very powerful thing. T1 themselves, this is new ground that they're going to be breaking for a lot of them. Honestly, it's going to be the peak if T1 manage to get over the hurdle for Buzz and Stax themselves. They've never gone past a third place mark at a global event before. And that is going to be a worry, I think, genuinely. I'm not inside the players' heads myself, but I think it's going to be at the back of their minds wondering, wait a second, we can break past that ceiling here and now, and it makes it awfully difficult to close out series like this.
Man, this is a tough one, because if you're EDG, you got to make a reverse sweep happen, and that's your only choice, maybe. Make a reverse sweep, or else you're done.
But they have the momentum now off of winning that last map, and there are a lot of questions around the split. We've seen both teams play it thus far at this event. The last showing for T1 was their dominant win against Team Vitality, the match that brought them here. But I still have questions around T1's play, because I think a lot of that game was Vitality showing in these very slow attack side mid-rounds where they weren't actually doing that much. And it was coming down to late executes when T1 had all their utility. They played great. The team play was on point, but they were at the advantage because of the way Vitality was playing so slow. And I think this is going to be a much bigger test against an EDG who is going to push that pace, Brent. Like you're saying, try and control the game here.
And I can't really remember as well and recall which side that T1 are going to be starting on, whether it's attack or defense for Split, but it does make a bit of a difference, I think, as well, because exactly the same arguments where EDG can take control of the pace of the game, especially on Fracture, which we just saw. On Split, they're going to have a different challenge themselves, because it's going to be about slowing down a double duelist XX, which T1 are absolutely brutal with. They will rinse you in terms of their gunplay, but EDG have been showing signs of life that they can hang on in that regard. The fundamentals have been always there for this team. They've never really been missing at all in terms of the gunplay. So it's going to be deciding a lot, I think. But listen, we'll see when we get into it.
You have a lot of options when you're playing with this double duelist composition that we're seeing T1 lock in. I think it allows you to play that more slow, traditional style of split where you are playing super slow defaults on all your attack rounds, but you also have really incredible ideas with almost triple dive going in. Yoru TPing back, a raised double Sato, the Omen can be TPing into the mix, and you end up with these really overwhelming executes that can absolutely eviscerate side anchors. So I want to see EDG playing into a style where they're playing pretty heavy for mid control, going for a lot of flood retakes. You got to give a little and then fight back in, and that's something that they were very good at on Fracture.
Yeah. Hear the crowd as they're starting to get behind these squads here, and even the fans back home, you guys are voting for who you think's gonna win, and you're still holding firm on T1, which, hey, you know, I mean, it makes sense, they're up 2-1. But look, there is a lot of hope for this T1 roster for sure, Mimi.
It's wild to see them in this position now, one map away from eliminating the world champs. The most underrated team at this tournament. They did not look anywhere near this good playing in Pacific. They had rosters swapping back and forth. They even brought that to this event, playing with both Carpe in the roster and then bringing Sylvan back in. No one expected them to be here, but now on a map where they are strong and one away from closing this out.
Yeah, and you know, I don't even want to say that they were underrated. They were just not even considered. They were not even, you guys, no one gave them the time of day, right? And here they are, one step away, but the problem is, as being mentioned before, that final hurdle might be the most challenging, and here come the agents locked in.
And there's a lot of worries for EDG off the rip here, I think, as well, because Izu is going to be everywhere at once. That's one of the benefits you have with the Yoru, instant rotations. But EDG, they now have the momentum. I think they've always got the belief that they can do it in situations like this one. And I think for T1 themselves, it's again going to be that firepower, man. You're running double duelists, it's all going to be about that as well. I think also gonna have to probably keep an eye on Meteor. He's gonna be trying to take liberties as well, just vacuuming up space, making sure that they can win a lot of those scenarios. But man, I'm hoping it's gonna be a good one. I'm sure it's gonna be.
Well, let's see if we can get to a map 5. I know everyone here wants it, so let's send it back over to Pansy and Ender for the call.
Wouldn't that just be a treat? But there's some new things on the playing field, right? For EDG, momentum now beside them. They made it through Fracture. But for T1, we've got some switch-ups here.
I'm so excited to see Izu back on the Yoru on this map. This will make his 4th unique agent in the series. The first time we're going to be seeing him walk in the duelist. He has been on fire on this agent. Him and Buzz, the tag team, the dynamic duo, have been excellent. It'll be the first thing EDG have to break in this attacking half.
EDG, can they show off their pedigree here? Reverse sweep, the words almost feeling unfair to whisper. But for now, first moves made, mid is already controlled.
EDG putting a lot of pressure here, even getting tagged on through the smoke. They've decided to leave Kong Kong over into vents. He has the option to maybe even pinch into the A site while the rest of EDG work heaven.
Yeah. Simon having a little swing up there with Chichu, but no one's really responded. Okay, Chichu does see Buzz, but that's it. They're not getting masses of information here. And all in the meantime, they are working towards A.
This is a great round from EDG, baiting this out completely, and Kong Kong is here so quickly.
Yeah, he's in the right place. Meteor, I don't know if he actually gets, yeah, he just sees him on the swing! Meteor gets away with murder, pop flash bye-bye. Nobody good trade, better positioning from Meteor again. Just catching them on, they're dropping like flies! T1 stand tall with the first found.
Really seemed like EDG had worked the map nicely, faking that up into B heaven.
Yeah.
But T1 got all the opening fights. Meteor continues to impress. Izu on backside deals with at least one before he's knocked down. T1 don't really miss a beat after letting Fracture slip away.
Nice little spark of rebuilding that confidence here for T1 as well. Obviously going to feel a little sour. Which replay we're hearing. Certainly not live into this one though. This round not yet so thrilling. But we are away. Buzz going to note a lot of presence here, a lot of early intention. Stack's going to commit to try and support him.
EDG have this wall they can sort of bunker behind if they can manage to get on site. Could give them some advantages, but I love where Buzz has found himself. Overcommitting to the spray though, and he's just about out of there.
How is he still standing? And Stacks is saving the day. T1 look immovable, holding this down. How is he? Hopefully we can fix that up for you guys. Oh, that is awful strike out. But Smoggy is going to make it go a bit, but it's easy to close out the round. T1 up to 2.
Coming into this next round, T1. Couple of Guardians, the Bulldog as well.
Fingers crossed. Not done yet. But this is a big round, so we'll power through. Bonus here for T1. Decent purchase. And have a look at Izu.
Yeah, a bit of a mid-walk with some baiting some Buzz.
Nobody, the one to a little bit of a glance so far. Prowler not going to explore far enough yet. But I'm still looking at Izu here. As said, a man of many talents, it feels like. Capable in so many ways. This time, gonna feel threatened here. Cool and composed, and he might catch Kung Kung, and he does wait his time. The bonus looking deadly already. Buzz holding down the corner, nobody there. EDG clawing back in at 3 apiece, but Sylvan's position. Hey, this is the map that he's impressed me the most, playing on this Omen. Oh, right back to business for nobody.
He's just flattened.
Unbelievable.
But this round is awkward now. Meteor's taking the timing to step down into mid. EDG still don't have the sight. Stax's Guardian could do so much work.
Does he get a bit of play in this? I don't know.
They think he's Evan.
God, Stacks. A moment to shine. He takes away Simon and buys precious seconds. Done and dealt with by Smoggy. But Meteor's position could be everything. Takes away nobody. Knows where Smoggy is. Dodges against the paranoia. The TP. He ain't fooling for it. He's checking right. He's looking left. We know Smoggy ain't moved. He's played a risky game and he might be rewarded. Meteor swings and misses. Smoggy calm under pressure and needed for EDG.
Smoggy was the guy too back on Fracture when T1 run map and series point to be able to show up, find a 3K, equalize, and come back eventually in OT. That round very nearly slipped away from them. He kept his cool, him and nobody too, snapping around for that shot earlier was simply ridiculous.
But let's kind of put this again in context. That was a bonus, right? Like this is how competitive this is. They are on heaters. We do have Smoggy's ult there. I mean, how many far? Nobody's one away as well. Okay, that could be pretty impactful if they get that early. And Kung Kung is puffing up the chest. He wants to try and show that they're a threat towards ramp.
Yeah, EDG really want to push these players away. You want to have a nice little cross setup off of the rope, and Kung Kung's not looking at the right direction.
I thought he had the timing right, but Buzz plays peekaboo, coming in from the vents. Now he repositions EDG, gonna find it hard to pin him down here.
It's a weird one, because EDG, the Viper Wall's not really helping them get out into the site or into heaven. They've got to face all these angles.
I thought Chi-Chi found a window of timing, he didn't. He got caught by the Prowler, but nobody still succeeds. The A side looking more vulnerable, but they still have a player by screen.
I think they're wanting to go back over into B, right? Thinking about using a stun maybe into vents. T1 have played so many of these maps to quick flood into sight, so maybe EDG have read the over-rotation, but T1 still have 2 leaning B.
They're in a bit of a fake here, but look at the re-exploration from Stacks, the timing! Oh, I can't control it well enough for the second. Good trade for Smoggy.
Sylvan's a rat.
The TP on site.
30 seconds left.
Oh my god, they have no idea. They're gonna surely come this way. They don't! They turn around, look at the HP on Simon. He's got the spike.
There's only 20 seconds.
He can run. He can stall this out. He's just got to buy time, find a safe position to play from. They've got to charger him. 14 seconds. They can't stop. They can't back away. And it's to their death. Meteor holds this down with Izu, and look at the time. It's too little, too late. The plot cannot happen. T1 clock on him.
EDG just get paralyzed up in heaven. Kong fell down early on into the round. Right, that was so strange. But then after that, they didn't really feel like they knew what they wanted to do. They tried to go for that fake into mid, but then as soon as they lose the player up in heaven, they go back into mid. It's just not going to work out for them.
It's a big round as well. Look at the effect on the money. It gives so much more momentum to T1, a big spiral potential, right? Keep this clean, couple more ults come online. Then you get the full hand of ultimates to run with up against a broken purchase here. Hero Rifle, however, is with Kung. Maybe he can be a difference maker, but his mid walks have felt very readable. We've already had Izu positioning down there. We've already had a lot of players dealing with it. How smart you are. Okay, EDG. Just go on half buys.
Oh dear. Meteor was trying to bait for the Yoru on the B side, and he just got picked off. And yet, Izu has stepped into the B main space.
Oh my god, the three-play stack. That's so sick. But I'm going to be honest, T1, what are we up to on these rounds against half buys, against force buys? God, Smoggy. That's a stunner. Can't do much about that, but you talk about momentum, you talk about keeping clean. That ain't clean from T1, but god damn, that was good from EDG.
Quite a way to bounce back as well after losing the last round effectively on time.
What a tantalizing prospect this is as well, because it gets them back in the game. It skips the queue for the economy, right? They get to get right back in on a buy. The money's back in a good position. Yeah, the ult round will be coming up pretty soon for T1, but it's not going to be an impossible scenario now.
That's the thing. If EDG can just play these sort of like slower rounds, they can fish out and find some kills. That makes it a lot harder for T1, because T1, right, you've got the Nightfall, you've got the Yoru ult to head into the next round. Very like you come in, play a very weak side of the map, and then a very strong side, and just be perfectly happy going for a retake. I think EDG's mission in this next round is to play a slow round where they can pick off some individual players to limit some of those key abilities.
Rifle kept, and a 3-2. I do want to see some of these shots back for the Maskard Thrifty here. Lovely. God. And again, I did feel that maybe Kung's approach towards middle was starting to get a little bit predictable, but what do I know? God, that was a round and a half, wasn't it?
Just the snappiest.
Yeah. T1 not liking what they saw there. Very early timeout for this, too.
Yeah, maybe just even recentering a bit after this. You're looking at, you know, the last three purchase rounds. EDG going up 2-1.
Yeah.
And I feel like EDG, their two main looks when they've played this map both today and in the past, it's either sort of slow mid-work or pretty quick ramps dive into freezing the rounds.
Build that buffer you got to depend on. For now, T1, I guess we asked the question, can you do what was just done to you? Right back at them. Early investment of utility to facilitate this pressure towards B main.
T1 put the Viper's Pit in mid as well, so not giving up on this round just yet.
Oh. Thanks for the smoke. Thanks for the kill. Thanks for the orb.
Yeah, if EDGs keep managing to find these picks onto B, that's going to be a problem for T1. Especially, it seems like a lot of the setups from T1 are just to have those bait switch-ups on the B site, so can't be getting picked off like that or it falls to pieces.
I didn't even realize they invested the Viper's Pit at the start here. That's quite a bit to put in. Chichu. They've got contact on both sides. This is really hard for Izu. Does he have a way out of here? I don't think he does right now, so he's a little stuck on this. And now he's under scrutiny, cleared. EDG just stormed the site, and they're even fancying a bit more towards CT. You can see it on the minimap there, and they're going to control it. EDG stamping their authority into this round. Meteor, there's nothing more really to achieve here.
EDG are on the hunt. I mean, look at them. They're not slowing down. Take another, why don't you?
Nice.
And that's solid macro from EDG as well, right? Because even after they have the numbers advantage, Chichu goes for this lurk into A, and as soon as he sees the raise, he realizes if there's a stack, it's got to be over to the A site. It's time to accelerate into B. EDG sees that opportunity immediately, and there's only the one guy here, and that's not going to slow him down at all.
Okay, Operator coming into play, seeing that in the hands of Izu here. Big investment, has ult as well, still has stacks with his. Couple coming through here now.
It's hard to come into map 4 as well and be tasked to opt for the first time all series, right? Be a little cold on that gun. But Izu has been so effective on the Yoru this year, this tourney. He's really had some breakout performances on this age and this map. And
Seeing that in
EDG
couple
that gun. He's really had some breakout performances on this age and this map in particular.
I mean, the guy has done so much to switch his mentality, the amount of agents he's been playing.
Fourth unique.
Yeah, let alone the operator to boot. But
The little off angle.
nobody might have heard the crowd get a little excited by that. I'm wondering. Don't matter. Izu got curious himself.
Yeah, Izu's not cold with the op.
No, he looks...
First op kill for the series, no problem.
Yeah, he looks good with this. Ooh, Kong saw a picks. Ooh, he almost got caught on that. Lucky boys, does that catch one or two? I got both of them there, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it did. So now they know Buzz is up here, however. He's ready to meet this. I think Chichu's seen him. Oh, maybe not, or maybe it wasn't called out. EDG do trade in well here to keep this at a 3v3.
Oh, and now with the dimensional drift coming in as well, T1 might be able to spot out all 3 players. They've snuck 2 players into backside as well. With only 30 seconds left, EDG are just losing on time.
Not again, right? We've had a couple rounds like this where they've really slowed down, where they've been held back, and Izu lands another. You're not getting up ramp. Find somewhere else to go. You're not coming through heaven. Go have fun elsewhere. He's unsure though, a little bit fidgety with his operator, but he's in the right place again. 10 seconds, where else are you gonna go? Where are you going? Izu! He's sending him down to hell. The second they step towards heaven is 2 more seconds. Oh! He's sending him down. Where else are you gonna go? Where are you going? Izu! He's sending him down to hell. The second they step towards heaven is 2 more seconds. Oh! Stunning from Izu.
It's untouchable. The first op round all day. And he just takes him down. What a round from Buzz. Snapping around with the showstopper to take Kong out of the sky and then getting right up on top of the smoke.
Look at the ults they've invested. EDG, yeah, they can buy, but they don't have what they want. This was an all-in round.
Look at that. Oh, I just love the way T1 are playing right now.
Oh, Kong on the op as well. But a quiet performance here from him. Singing his praises before, right, starting to warm up a bit in the previous map. Here, a little more quiet.
This map looking like Smoggy and Friends right now. But Kong, so often when you'll see a defender pick up the operator, he'll ask to be tasked with that 1 versus 1. Put one in his own hands.
And what a different look already, right? Absent in middle. Leaving EDG to go for these wonders, go for these walks. Hold the extremities.
It's a really passive offline from Izu over towards B. All the way in backside. Teleport ready for a quicker rotate into A. This is what I'm talking about. EDG love these slow rounds. They're posting up Kong for the smoke to fall.
This off angle. Surely they clear it, right? Meteor tucked in this deep corner.
The Omen ult's on nothing in A main. Meteor has to be ready for it.
Oh, he is. He was locked in on one. Great trade out from Kong, very quick. But now do they expect Izu? As said, a very deep line here. He's going to be forced into a very unfavorable position, trying to find the timing to tuck into the corner, and he does. Evades everything. Oh, they almost line up for him.
They did.
Yes,
Smoggy's down to 4.
That's nothing to play with. And now he's getting surrounded, though. He still wants to fight this out. Tucked in the corner. What are you up to, Kong? What's the plan? To get a trade for Chichu? Maybe. But now a 1v2. How is this working out?
10 seconds.
10 seconds and stacks. He's playing it so calm.
In every single critical moment, that is where T1 are showing up. Come on. Izu's op has been ridiculous. I've got no idea what's happening in Kong's mind there. And yet it's T1 to pull through in those clutch moments. EDG are gonna have to call a timeout.
Yeah. And it looked good at the beginning, right? A lovely trade in for Kong there. Kind of rolling out the road carpet. I felt they had a really good crunch in towards Izu, but super slippery from him. But also, there was the spacing, where was the trading, where was the timing to really capitalize on that.
EDG have had a consistent problem in every map of split they've played. It's because they're running the jet. They've never been able to clear backside B behind sign. We saw yesterday against G2,
Yeah.
They were abusing those angles. And here again, Izu puts himself in exactly the right position with the operator, right? You don't have the double satchel to go flying on in. Yeah, they tried to use the Teo nades to push him out, but he just walked on past those, still swung and was able to take his shot. You have to be way more precise with your moments, with your scaling, with your spacing when you move forward. Running a comp like this onto the BXX, or Izu's just gonna keep running rounds like that against you.
Yeah, it only compounds the problems, right? We're now seeing 3 consecutive for T1. 7, 8, 9 looking real pretty for them. EDG, off the back of a timeout now, gonna try and facilitate a buy, muster something together. We've seen them with some heavy hitting, half purchased, messy buys. They do it again.
Right, so that Prowler will confirm a real teleport from Smoggy. Not gonna be any fake embeds. But Izu is once again in the weird angle in mid.
And I like the versatility we're seeing from Izu already. We've been posted on towards that B side before. Certainly going to add to the paranoia there, but they're going for a contact play, which is quite bold. And Stack should be able to get good info on this. That's at minimum 1, maybe 2. Not sure what he's seen yet.
Teleport in. Smoggy has been the hero for EDG.
Yeah, he's the one who stepped up so far. He's going to have to keep climbing at this point. Notes another. Izu closing in. There's 2 on this side. A quick kill from him, but it's back down to a 2v3. The site not quite secure. Spike back in hand, and Izu wants to cook here. Gets himself a different weapon. Spots out the site. What's the plan? Izu wait on the paranoia and take the site back. Take the fight back to them. But Kang adjusts his eyesight. Checks towards CT, finds Sylvan. And yeah, he's getting slippery with it too. Izu good, but not good enough. EDG, give him a half buy. Put him under pressure. And apparently they get you around.
The quick pace into the B site there. EDG. I mean, it's a great combo to backside. Look at that paranoia. You've got the nades, the breach blast pushing players back into Smoggy's crosshair. And they were execing sort of before Kang even got there, because he opened the round over on the A side of the map.
Yeah.
Smoggy said, give it to me. No problem. 14 kills for the Omen. Smoggy stepped up in a big way here in crunch time.
Spot on. Now, money for T1 also on the line here. Back and forth we go. Fragile for either side. Izu once again dedicating himself, at least early on, towards the B site in a little bit more of an aggressive angle.
T1 also playing doubled up in mid here. Meteor in the slanted vent, and Kang trying to work that pixel angle off the smoke.
Portal closed. Cutting through.
Izu.
Oh no.
Timing on this one. He does have an escape plan. Maybe he doesn't want to escape. He's seen enough. Sticks around for one. Dips out of there. Paranoia goes in. Sylvan now fancies his go at it. Would they predict him to be here? They're doing their due diligence, but still, this is tricky. This is tough. That's great from Sylvan. And now slippery from Izu. They don't know where he's gone to. They're getting choked out in B main.
EDG are moving back into their Viper. Chichu has lurked into A heaven.
Massive.
And yet Meteor is in mid.
Oh. My
Not again!
God, and the patience. Hey, Meteor with 2! EDG walking to their death.
30 seconds left.
All right, Chichu, you got to be the hero of the, I'd say round, but maybe even the hour at this point.
Lost.
Spike's gone, he knows it, 20 seconds. I mean, you can try and do damage, sure, but this feels futile. 10 seconds, and T1 will be grinning with this. That's going to be 7 for them. And what a lovely reposition from Meteor there. And Stacks, he just fancies a go. And that's why 7 rounds now for T1.
That's the second time EDG haven't cleared that exact same spot this half. And they're forced back into it because of the beautiful hold, right? T1 utilizing their teleports perfectly after getting the kills, calling in Sylvan to go into that exact same position. Backside that EDG cannot physically clear.
Well, the atmosphere is shifting in here though, isn't it?
Like
T1,
EDG, forcing Guardians every round.
And EDG looked like, I've never seen them really look this lost for overall answers. Izu again, this versatility. showing variety in approach. We've seen him in various looks towards our B site. We have seen him in middle, but not this committed.
EDG have been scared away from mid. They're just trying to run execs out of the playbook now. And A will be the look. But Stax, I think, is just going to catch the timing. Prowler only guaranteed to see one, and Chichu's been playing there consistently.
TP did just cycle off of timing for Izu. He did have it back towards CT on A. See maybe that consideration of rotation coming in, but he still posted towards middle. The rest of EDG patient. They're waiting on this.
Yeah, nobody's going to go mid and then drone this out. That'll see the off teleport away. It's time for EDG to speed up into A.
You got to face the music, take the fight. We've been worried on some of the timings here, but they still got plenty. 45 seconds, and they creep closer, but this is all seen. It feels really hard here.
I'm getting nervous.
Buzz holding down towards heaven. Kung gonna take the first steps, put his life on the line for it, and takes the space. Spots out. What? How did Stax get that? I do not know. But now Buzz is in danger. EDG breaking down the door, barreling in. Simon and nobody in unison, doing what is needed here.
Paranoia for T1 to work with. Izu now blocked off the angle. He switches over into the rifle. Here it comes.
Oh my God! Smoggy! Blind, but it doesn't matter. T1 and EDG close enough here. This is going to be a belting second half. I can't tell you which way it goes, but we might be going the distance, or maybe we're gonna have a new grand finalist. They need this to go all the way. It can't stop now. They can't drop another half. And for T1 in the lead, but potentially closing out this game and getting to the finals.
Yeah, almost uncharted territory for T1. They've had to come back in the second halves these last couple of games. Now that challenge rests on EDG's shoulders. And I can't help but be impressed and blown away with that first half out of Smoggy for EDG.
Yes.
This guy does not want to lose.
Without Smoggy, I don't think they'd be anywhere near close to 5 rounds.
No one on EDG is positive except for Smoggy. He's 16-8 right now. Having a phenomenal performance, almost willing EDG to advance. But this is where T1 challenge you more than ever, right? Rocking the double duelist.
Yeah.
Their unique style finally on form in this series. We finally have a map where they're going to be rocking it.
For EDG, time to lock in, boys. There's only so many ways you can put it, right? Trailing in this, quiet.
Have a map where they're going to be rocking it.
For EDG, time to lock in, boys. There's only so many ways you can put it, right? Trailing in this, quiet performers. EDG, you are considered the reigning champions, and right now you're trailing. Not just in maps, but in rounds, and Buzz off to a beginning. Takes straight up towards heaven, and really nice for him, right? That can only bode well going forward. He's one of the players to opt obviously for the Bulldog here, and Kung being challenged away from this early angle.
He's not going to back down.
It's Kung. It takes everyone's kit of utility basically to humble him off the corner. He still fancies it.
Same time, look at A Heaven right now. Meteor is all the way through.
Meteor? He's got to hear that. Oh, the timing is just divine.
How is he between them all?
But there's 3-4 players here. This may be a read, but it might be a misread, and the crowd might give away the game. But for now, he's poised, he's patient, and he strikes. He sees it all. He sees another. But Chichu's here. Do they know about Chichu? They now do. Good trades, good positioning. Kung trying to get overhearing time. Nobody fighting for his life as best he can. But still, Kung, there's a time. He could do with one of these. He's in the door. T1 deal with him easily. I mean, Meteor just found the perfect position to play from.
That was so nice. And the trigger discipline as well. The fact that he snuck through and then the first rotate came over into A Heaven, there's no world in which EDG are going to be turning around. And that is a pressure point that Meteor is going to consistently be seeking. Right, very limited information with this EDG comp. It's just the Tejo drone. So as soon as that is down, the lurks are free game.
Still trying to show dominance towards B main here. Does have the support from Heaven, from Smoggy as well. Oh my god, there is a brawl towards 8. No more of that lurk-in business. None of that, thank you. You are getting a little dicey here, but he's just found a bit of cover to play from, but they are hunting him down actively. Support coming in from Heaven. It's getting scrappy. Good trades here. Smoggy gonna keep it on level. Pegging, wait! T1! They win out on the site!
This could be the round that propels T1 forward. A 2v4 that EDG are going to be facing down, and I don't think they're playing it out.
They're calling it. I think they're calling it.
Wow.
I mean, Simon's on 7 HP. I can't believe it. This is the gateway round, right? This gets T1 up to 10. This is a technical bonus converted, so money's good. Walking away with a couple upgrades, probably. Looking at Buzz here. Does he get one? Yeah, he does. Okay, yeah. Vandal, yeah, look at him.
They are set for a good long while now.
Oh my god. EDG, they're on the ropes here.
We'll see what they can piece together. EDG just needed any one of these first fights to go their way, but Smoggy was the only one that could get his.
Nice.
But that feels like the story of this map as well. Smoggy 17 to 11, putting up numbers. Where's everyone else? We've been seeing the praises of Chichu, Kung, everyone on this roster has had their time in the sun. But it's going dark at the worst time possible for them. 10 to 5. Make it count, dig deep.
Two members of EDG forced down to nothing. Kong has the Vandal in hand, and they've left him up on his own. He has to show up.
Show up or show out. He's got to back away. Again, forced off the angle, put in a box, put in his cage, put back to bed, and chased down like an animal. T1, confidence, sky high now.
T1 are just unrelenting, hunting them down. EDG keep asking someone else to come to the fore. But now Meteor up in heaven. It's Smoggy every time, Pansy.
Someone help him. Sylvan instantly checks him though, doesn't let him build into the round. Simon, nobody. It doesn't feel like they've got much building here, Sylvan. Putting on a show. And it's down to 1. And they want it done. 11 now for T1.
EDG just getting scattered in these rounds. And you look at it, it is hard to be the reigning champions returning to another global event. No one in Valorant really has succeeded bar Fnatic the once.
Yeah.
And especially coming through a turbulent offseason, some of the biggest patch changes we have seen in Valorant. EDG have still been at the top of their game, but today it has not been the case. It is do or die now for the reigning champs.
And it looks similar. It looks like a rinse and repeat. Kung, he wants it again. He's on 7 to 13. T1 have had his number. He's still sticking around.
Simon's here now.
Simon by his side. But that's 5 players. He has to excel, and he's dead. Izu breaks them down, and another. T1 rinse, repeat, and succeed. The site is theirs again. Chichu, nobody, Smoggy. They're a mile away, and 12 rounds is calling.
T1 smell blood in the water. Izu still holding the line, and they are unstoppable.
Oh, unrelenting. Smoggy trying. Try as you might, Smoggy. No one can say you haven't put in numbers, put in work. But this isn't a one-man show anymore. It's a team game. And T1 has 5 here. Looking on the money. Smoggy has to bow out of the round. The rifle, the best thing he can walk away with.
T1 are just the masters of their own style. The only team consistently playing the double duelist. We haven't seen a team as committed to this since the likes of Paper X. T1 took down Paper X to get here. They finally ran through DRX to take down the #1 seed of Pacific. They lost to EDG earlier in this tournament, but every single series it's been a revenge match, and every single series they've come out better.
EDG in the final hour, the final moment potentially. Call the timeout. I can see it. Maybe the players have caught a glimpse, but even the fans now rallying behind the teams. They can feel how close this is here to something of a surprise. EDG, as said, reigning champs, a fantastic team, but not in form today. And T1, underestimated, absolutely. They've proven us wrong, round by round, game by game. And now they stand on the verge of the absolutely unthinkable, locking in a grand final.
For Stacks and Buzz to go 10 global events without being on the stage on the last day of the event. Now just barely off. For a kid like Izu coming into this team and just shocking everyone through the duration of this event.
What a star performance.
T1 team has just been ramping and building and building and building.
Look at what we're seeing on the mini-map. Have a glance.
Is this the way we go out?
Is this how it ends? We face the music. We go down together. T1 rallying themselves here. And EDG up for the fight. Trying to show that fire, show that determination, and they're up for it. They're pushing, they keep pushing. But Buzz answers back. You want a brawl? We'll give you a brawl. And Buzz having his moment, his time in the sun. And the one remaining factor, Chichu.
The MVP of the event thus far, going on a long walk through T1 territory. And there's two of the best he's got to take down to keep his team in it.
As the spike ticks, as Chichu steps closer to the site, T1 will feel it in their bones. Positioned perfectly, pressure not on them this time. Second by second, closing in on the thing that they've dreamed of since the very start here. Something of their wildest dreams coming true! T1 are going to the finals!
Absolutely no one thought this team could do it, let alone even be here today. Pacific's #2 seed coming into the event with a different 5 roster on the stage. But Sylvan joins the team, comes back into his starting spot. Meteor dominates throughout the day, the double duelist on point. And for Buzz and for Stacks to finally go the distance, to be here not bowing out in defeat, but to keep moving forward into the finals. It is a moment for Korean Valorant. It is a moment for T1.
Simply does not get better than that. Nobody can take this away from them. Facing incredible foes and coming out looking the better side consistently. They should be proud of this one, doing something they have not done before. And now the world watches, as who knows how far this team can truly go.
It's just been beautiful watching them ramp up over the course of this event. You know the peaks of the icons on this team. for a guy like Izu stepping up so massive. He played 4 different agents today. Played 3 different roles. Played the info initiator, played the sentinel.